Hey, it's Ross with Rublin Public Radio. We're playing Delta Green here tonight, and I'm not running this game. So it's going to be great, and we're going to have...
Are you just going to sit there and not identify me?
because Aaron is running the game, and I was just going to say I'm just enjoying being a player.
I'm glad we can make you enjoy being a player. So, hello everybody, this is Aaron. I will be running our DG scenario tonight, the title of which is called All My Sins Be Remembered. So, and tonight, in addition to Ross being able to play for once in a while, so we also have Greg.
Hey, I'll be playing Isaac Shue tonight.
Okay, and David.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be playing Kelly Youngkin.
Okay, and Ross.
I'm going to be playing Lee Klug, and I am a Marine.
Okay, and we'll start with you, Ross. So, so first off, what brought you into the program? What was the situation that made you aware of Delta Green?
I guess it's up to me whether I'm active duty or not. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'd say I'm 41 years old. I'm probably like a sergeant or something like that. So enlisted, or actually, I don't know. It doesn't say if I'm an officer or not. So can I?
You can main right now if you want to be like a staff sergeant or something. So
yeah, I'll be a staff sergeant. So yeah, I was basically on active duty, serving on a military base, and I was inducted in because of my values, my dedicated service. I was asked by someone to join a special access program or something. And, so yeah, I was just basically ordered to join by someone that I couldn't say no to. And I'm kind of murky about all the details, but
all right.
If it means a pay bump or it'll mean a little gold star on my service record, then
okay.
Yeah,
and being back into your forties right now, so you probably saw service through Iraq and Afghanistan, right?
I mean, I haven't taken the damaged veteran thing, so
okay.
I'd say I could, but I wasn't like I didn't see a lot of combat.
Okay, so all right. In this case,
so I don't have any I'm not adapted to violence or anything.
Okay,
so, yeah.
I will say probably from that, I would say fill out at least one box of violence, just because that's going to be not a lot, but you probably saw some shit every once in a while. So
I mean, it would be hard not to. So,
all right,
but yeah.
So
fine.
David, how did your character come into the program?
Well, as a scientist trying to make actual advancements in the fields of science...
this is Comic Grove all over again.
You asked for it.
Yeah, it's true. So,
I think you specified biology, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld a horrible thing that should not exist. It was a plant that was moving on its own, which I'm reasonably certain they're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
And then a nice man from the government, who had an ID that said he was government man from the government, asked me to look at this thing. And by this thing, he showed me a hood. They took me away in a van. And I met another man who did not have any kind of identification whatsoever. And he said, we will call on you to look at things like this again in the future because you actually identified a couple of things about that plant that should not be.
All right.
So I got to see some of those things man were not meant to know.
Okay, so you started as an unwitting friendly that was more inducted into the program.
Well, I don't think that it was unwitting friendly as much as just unwitting bystander.
Okay. Well, at least in that case, you have more knowledge than you should, so I would mark off one for helpless. And since you saw that, I will allow you to have a 10% on unnatural if you don't already have that.
I don't believe I have that.
All right, go ahead and put that. Might not help you, but we'll see what happens. And Greg.
My character's profession is a historian. I had the privilege of being involved in a research project. We acquired some materials relating to ancient cultural and religious studies and traditions, and a lot of it didn't make sense, didn't pertain to any cultural tradition that I was aware of, and I just kept digging, and eventually I was called in, brought in due to my enthusiasm. They appreciated my willingness to open books that nobody else wanted to open and examine relics that nobody else wanted to examine.
All right, so I think you'll be able to go ahead and put that up there. However, probably if they're willingly putting you in front of things, it probably occurred to you that they think you as more of a guinea pig than a full-on researcher or somebody who's willing to take that. So I'll say you can go ahead and take another point of helplessness since you've probably seen something and.
I'm probably starting to figure that out,
Yep.
but damn, this is fascinating.
Yep, you're looking at that, and if you don't already have it, what's your occult at right now?
My occult is 40.
40? Go ahead and add a 10% bump to that.
All right. Shiny.
All right. So, but you are all within your fields. Separate you as a part of Delta Green. You are only called in when absolutely needed, but you go around living your lives. But on this particular weekend, you all get a message asking you to respond through code for it's like a mission briefing. After you put in your correct information, you were given a listing from an Agent Kellan, Kellan. Stating that you were to report to a offsite hotel outside of Norfolk, Virginia, and there you'll be given full briefing details. So the basics of it is stating that there has been a potential vector identified at a archaeological site near one of the a Catholic church, and they are asked. And they're needing you to look in to see if any of these vectors are possibly substantiated.
This isn't going to be like that total eclipse of the sun business from a few years back, will it?
I don't care. Out of this, are you referring to Below Dead?
I think he's just...
Nope.
Okay.
Little Shop of Horrors, actually.
Oh, well, do something popular, not my game. You're already losing something here.
What have we been told about vectors?
So, okay, baseline vectors are anything that could cause potential physical and or mental harm to the public, to the public health. It should not be known by them and should be covered up with the quickest. If it is substantiated, it should be covered up as quickly as possible. Okay. So records expunged, the items brought to a safe location, which you were given random access to at certain points. So you were mainly identification, and extraction if absolutely necessary.
I am going to... So I've had some time to know about this and know that I'd be called. So I'm aware of this.
This isn't your particular first rodeo, Clug. So you've been on the offside for some things, but you've not. But it's usually saying oh, there's the screams and the horrible sounds coming from over there. I'm going to be out here with the gun waiting.
Question: Can I change my artillery to? I have artillery at 60%. I don't think that's going to be used in the scenario. Can I swap that with demolitions?
You may. So.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
No, it's fine. It's a pre-gen. In that case, can I just say I have a go bag that's like a pyromaniac's, friend kind of kit and a just whatever kind of weapons and explosives I think I can take from the armory without raising notice.
What specifically are you looking at?
Well, the pyromaniac's kit is going to be mostly civilian stuff, but like flares, gas, kerosene, det cord, if I can get it.
That's going to be the hard one too, because det cord. It's not pulling complete C4 off of base, which would get you in serious trouble.
But I mean, if I'm already a trained demos tech, I could probably get det cord anyway. Be if I miss a couple of feet here and there, and string it together.
So yeah, you're possibly
basically. I want to have a trunk of the car that if the cop pull me over and look at, they're going to be like, "Oh fuck!" But no, I'm military. It's fine. This is for a training exercise.
Okay, so I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say that you're kind of talking your way out of it over a longer period of time. So I'm either going to give you a military science roll to be able to see about sneaking that past while getting under the radar, or if your persuades higher, your ability to actually talk the NPs that are surrounding this out of
military science is definitely better.
All right, go ahead and make your roll.
We don't persuade people in the Marines. We give orders. Nope, I failed that.
All right. So
civilian stuff only.
Yes, civilian stuff only. So you have the knowledge, obviously, to make low-range IEDs, but you're not going to get the biggest
Well,
stuff.
I mean, it's more concerned.
Also gas bombs, because do you know how easy it is to make a chlorine bomb?
Well, I'm not going to be making bombs per se, but like things that I can like go out and just burn anything, like set a house.
Something to put a wall between us and whatever's chasing us.
Well, more like if we need to burn a house down, like I can do that. I have it all there. It just takes me 5 minutes to set it up or whatever. I'm also going to take a bag of guns that I bought at gun shows.
Okay.
In cash.
Alrighty. So, all right. I'm not going to say that's something you can go ahead and take that. So that's something over a long
It's
amount of time.
America. Damn
Yeah,
right it is.
I would say that. Alrighty then. So, is that what you're doing during the entire your prep time beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you making any excuses to get out? Because what I was about to say, what about your bond? So, is there anybody that you are specifically leaving or need to make an excuse with?
Probably my daughter.
Okay.
I would say she is with my ex-wife, and yeah, I was going to go see her. So yeah, I have to go tell her that Daddy has a training mission that he has to go on.
God, you say this every time I'm supposed to be going on a weekend. You said you were going to drive me up to see my friends so we can have the ski weekend, and there wouldn't be any problems about this. This always comes up, Dad.
I'm sorry, Pumpkin, but I know things that I have to teach other people, and it's really important that they know these things. And I can't say any more, but it's really important for the nation, and I know it's a sacrifice, and I'm really proud of you, and I love you.
So, yeah, charisma check with her. See what you got.
I'm likable. That's what it says on
Let's
it.
see how likable you are with your teenage daughter.
66, critical success.
Oh. Okay, I love you too, Dad. So go ahead.
Just
Go
gives
ahead.
her that winning smile. And
You
just that
absolutely
wink.
did. So go ahead and bump up that bond by 1.
Oh.
Let's hear.
All right.
You're going through that. So all
I'll
right.
buy you a pony.
So you're
A
off.
little
Not buying her a pony.
A little.
Here's a foot of debt.
No, little ponies are more expensive.
Not
weirdly enough.
dwarf ponies.
No, the plastic one.
Oh, okay. That's just insulting to her intelligence.
It's a dad joke. I'll
Yeah.
buy you a pony.
She's in the hates dad
All right.
joke phase.
All right, Dr. Tongue. So what are we? It's like who? It's like what are we doing? Who are you? Who do you have to talk to get out of your current work?
I've got a lab partner, and then I've also got my roommate. So I'm going to call the lab partner first and give him the flimsiest of excuse.
Okay, so what's your lab partner's name?
Derek.
Derek. So like, what the hell? Do you realize that we have to give the grant proposal within this next week, which means that they actually have to see results on that particular polymer that we're working on?
Derek, you and I both know that science sometimes comes in sparks, and sometimes it's a blast of creativity that just hits you out of nowhere. And so I got to go. I've got to wander. And Julia knows that I work like this. I've already sent her a text message that says, gotta wanderlust, gonna unplug for a weekend.
So you're going to go fucking walkabout while I have to sit here and basically complete all your notes? This is bullshit, Kelly.
Yeah, you want to know what was bullshit, Derek? Burning Man last year when you absolutely had to go, when we were under a deadline, and who covered your ass then? Who's got 2 thumbs and looked over everything that had to be done then? This chick. So suck it up, Buttercup. Deal with the deadline, and I'm going to go.
Okay,
I tried telling you nicely that I was going to be going, and you didn't want to listen to nice, so now you're going to have to listen to Sassy Pants.
Okay, well, Sassy Pants, go ahead and make your persuade roll.
That's a nope.
How bad of a note?
57 out of 20.
So
Yeah, it's not a good note.
yeah, Kelly, fuck you. I gave you at least a month's notice, but before I was going out to Burning Man, and you had all my notes. You know what? That's like
You've got all of my notes, too, if you would check your email.
Well, I did, and they're not in there. So how about this? We'll just take your name off the grant right now, and we'll have all the we'll have all the accolades. We'll see you when you get back. Like, so
lose a point of bond.
yeah, you burned a bond on that one. So.
Well, that's cool. He's an asshole anyway. And if he doesn't have my notes, he's not getting them now. Delete.
Damn, that's spite. So, all right. So you're set up right now. You have all your tickets to go.
My name's not on the grant. I don't have to worry about that.
All right. So you're setting from there. All right.
Can I have a moment of prep as well?
So, all right. Well, what you need?
So I've got a firearms at 40, but a melee weapon at 50. And since I am going to be going out into the middle of nowhere by myself at night, I'm not going to bring a backpack full of det cord and other flammable materials. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pick up that lovely brick next to the door. I'm going to drop it into the bottom of my handbag so that if I have to, I can clonk a bitch.
So you're trying to steal a brick doorstop.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a brick.
I know.
Well, one, not stealing if I'm taking it from inside my own house.
Okay, that's fine.
And two, I think that's a sensible precaution.
I won't charge you for a brick. So, although I will make you make a luck roll right now.
Okay.
Oh, you forgot to say, are you going high or low?
Where is luck?
No, luck is a
luck
straight
is
50%
high.
chance.
So
So
just
just choose
50%.
one.
So high or low?
So in that case, we're just going to go high.
Okay.
56.
Okay. So, all right. So I will let you know about that later.
Ooh.
Did I grab the magic brick or did I grab the not magic brick?
Okay.
Oh, well, we'll figure that out.
All right. Anyway. Okay, so you have your brick right now. You have your train tickets, and you're ready to go off. And finally, shoe. So, what are you doing to prep?
Well, I've got to take a sabbatical from the Indian anthropological exhibit that Michelle and I were working on.
Okay, who's Michelle?
She's an anthropologist. We're colleagues at the same historical institute.
Okay, go ahead. So, all right. She takes a look from there. All right. What do you? There's nothing really big or pressing going on too. I know we're just kind of getting the next steps ready for the new exhibit opening right now. But it seems a lot of time to take a vacation.
Yeah, I know it's short notice. I tried to get some extra prep work done on the Kali exhibits. I just want to make sure you knew what's going on.
Okay. All right. So, I kind of appreciate it, but you might get in like major hot water with the curator because he's kind of been cracking down on everybody taking sabbaticals.
Yeah, I've tried to bank a couple of sick days. I'll make the necessary calls. I just need everything to go smoothly for a while, just before I get back. It won't be long, I swear.
Okay, I would say if you have your bureaucracy, go ahead and roll that to see how well you smooth that over with the curator. Otherwise, your colleague's going to have to smooth things over, and that's going to harm a bond with her.
Fair enough. 39 under 40.
All right, so just you barely cross the I's and dot.
Give me this one.
T's and reverse, but you see that with the mistake, you reverse it and manage to get it through on time. So she says she'll work out from it, so you're good.
I owe you one.
Yeah. So hey, don't worry. It's just take it.
That,
That's
what's that, 3 now?
Again, you know the ramen place I like. Just let that be the point for next time around. So
just say the word.
All right. So any prep anything you wanting specifically equipment wise before we go?
We know there's a vector at you said a Catholic church?
No, it is an archaeological dig. Basically, it's just, that's all the information you've gotten, but it's offside of the church itself. So,
Offside of the church, okay.
Yes, so it's not directly in the building.
And I don't know anything about it other than that.
You've not been getting any other information right now. Since this is a secured line, they don't want to say too much yet.
Sure. Based on the location and any lore I may have picked up since joining Delta Green, would I be able to anticipate any needs and plan for that?
I would say go ahead.
Could I hazard a guess based on...
I would actually say that you don't have SIGINT, do you?
SIGINT, I do not.
No. I'll just make this a straight intelligence roll.
All right. Int times 5.
Mm-hmm.
100, is that good or bad?
That is a critical failure.
That's your fail. Okay. Good remember.
You think that you have everything that you already need.
I got this.
So, I'm going to say when you left, you actually forgot your wallet. So, Which means that you were able, you actually were sitting in the train terminal. You forgot it. You got back, but literally all your money's gone.
All right.
So,
and my ID.
Well, no, your ID was there. They just took that in the credit card. So you're going to have to be bumming off of other people for any other resources. So good luck.
All right.
So
Not again.
So it's going to be a little bit harder. So, all right. But everybody else, you get on your train station. You're directed over to a cheap Holiday Inn. So that is about 30 minutes outside of Norfolk. So your rooms have all been registered under a Patrick Kellen. So who has been who is writing you, and they also direct you to the stating that there is a meeting of the Norfolk Historical Society that you were all registered to this hotel. So once you get in, you go into one of the other conference rooms. It's about the size of just like a general conference room, and middle-aged guy, probably in his later 50s, is sitting in there, graying temples, just sitting around, but is waiting. Has 3 different coffee cups in front of him, or sorry, 4, with a steam pot of coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in.
I do whatever method I had to verify that this is the person we're supposed to talk to.
What's your call sign?
What do you do when the exterminator's like?
So get a new fucking call sign, you asshole. Get in here.
That's not the call sign, is it? I don't care.
So he doesn't say that. So I'll say this joke. No, that's like called the exterminator. Right. So he just says that in a more very resigned tone as you walk in.
That's also not the response. Hefting the purse just slightly.
That's the.
What do you do when
that's the response?
Yeah, in this game it would be. Yeah.
So thank you for coming on such short notice. We really. It's like this may honestly turn out to be nothing, but we really wanted to make sure that there was nothing. It's like that we covered everything in all of our bases because we've seen some stuff is the bigger problem. So go around, starts pouring the coffee. That's like cups of coffee for everybody and sliding them to your side. So
have we met before? Have I met any of these people before?
Let's see. Luck rolls. I'll say. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll let you make a luck roll to see if you've met them. So
okay. Agent Kellen.
Okay.
I'll go with low. 58. Nope, haven't met him.
All right.
Then I'll go with Youngkin. Nope. And then Isaac.
Yep.
No.
Reroll that.
You only know him in 5 different dimensions.
I do know. Yeah, I do know Isaac.
Okay, so what is the thing you know him from?
Probably a mundane job where I had to transport a tome from one place to the other, and I delivered it to him, or like from one library to the other, like wherever he was studying it to Miskatonic or something.
Okay. All right. So in that case, you're just a general transport.
So I know he's some kind of scholar. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So you know the workings from before. So, but goes up. Yes.
Do we get to make the same?
Well, I established if I've known you two could roll to see if you know each other.
Yeah, if you want to roll, so you can go ahead.
You also could roll for the supervisor.
Yeah, if you want to roll for the supervisor, you can go ahead. So.
That definitely.
All right. So both roll for the supervisor.
I'm going to go high.
Luck high.
I do not know him.
Nope.
Okay. So and each other.
I'll roll for you. Hi. No.
Okay, so room full of strangers.
All right. Okay.
Almost.
Almost from there. But he puts it in there, takes out a small, it's like projector. It's about the size of a soda can. So turns it on from, it's like his phone, and you see a particular, what looks like a very rustic Catholic church. Probably built, you're looking at the construction right now, I would say, just from the initial look, was probably built somewhere around early 20th century, it's like 1910s to 1920s. Mm-hmm. So, but fairly rustic. And off it's like goes by the name of, let's see, Our Lady of the Resurrection. So,
okay.
This is Our Lady of the Resurrection, established, that's like 1911. it's like recently they were doing construction to see about expanding the grounds, which included moving a considerable local cemetery that they have. It's like next to it, about 200 yards off. But when they ended up looking into the graves, they actually found that a larger cavern structure was almost underneath it. The initial thought was that this was just a natural unformation, and they decided to go in there to make sure that the area was still stable before they moved anything else. But they ended up finding that this was a large earthwork-style crypt that had not been put on the records from the parish beforehand. So there's less picture. As you can see, the entire structure is completely circular. It's barren, with the exception of what looks like to be hangings for oil lanterns to keep it certain lit when the passageway was still open. But that's what's not is really concerned us. As another picture comes up, the lights on, you suddenly see that there along the walls are about 30 evenly spaced skeletons, all with their heads removed. So they are all picked clean. They don't appear to be any kind of desiccated corpses whatsoever. And in the center of them seems to be a complete skeleton that is sitting cross-legged, looking down and holding in its hand a long blade. It's like a long blade that has curling etchings going all the way up, but doesn't end in what looks like the normal point. It actually has something of a curved prong or fork at the end of it that would instead of a blade. So think of it like a spork or a spoon that kind of goes up. So
like the one you use on a grill.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So for that instead. As we can tell, all of the bodies that were there seem to be either possibly have already been stripped of their flesh beforehand, because, as we said, if they had just died in place there, they should have been desiccated in some way or rotting. But even after all this time, there should have been some other biological sign left beyond the bones. The other one, in turn, for this odd thing about the skeleton, in the center, beside his sword, takes a look at it, and you look from behind, and it seems like there are cartilage growths, basically, that have gone out of its neck that are coming out almost like a spore structure that they pushed outward and just latched on, and multiples, almost like looking in in your sides from the biology side, like a sponge bloom or a sea anemone just going outside of it. We have no idea what that is, and currently they have an anthropological team, both from the church and also from the University of Norfolk, looking into this to see if there's any identifiable marks or the skeletal remains that are around. But we have no idea if this is a cult activity, if this is something active, or if this is something worse that we can't identify. So you are to gather as much information as you can from the researchers that are on site. If it's determined that this artifact or any of those skeletons are possibly hazardous to the people on site or the community, you are to contain them and get rid of them as soon as possible.
Oh, what's our cover?
So currently, I have not provided you any cover since I have only been brought into this right now. You will have to go through that. I do have contacts with the church. A Father David, what's a priest name you can come up with?
Father Callahan.
Father Callahan. Okay. So Father,
is he the one who told you about it?
So he did not tell me this in particular right now. There is. I managed to intercept a letter to a communication to the Vatican investigators that were coming into place. They needed to do this from the diocese because they were. Because this was on church grounds.
So the church is handling this investigation.
As far as I can tell, the researchers from the University of Norfolk are there on their behest. So you can try to contact them, see if you can gain any information for the cover itself. But I am That's about as much as I can do. This is pretty sensitive.
Well, yeah, if the church is involved. Why haven't they called the CDC?
So at this point, they don't see, as far as I can tell, again, it's skeletal remains. There's nothing
except for
there.
that sponge or that fungal growth.
Well, what looks like it, and from what we've determined, it's whatever on there. If it was cartilage, it's fossilized at this point, and it's not going through. And when looking on the back, it's not an actual sponge. It basically looks like that but it's all bone structure that was going out the back of his neck.
Okay, so it looks like fungus, but it's bone.
Yes. So
okay,
which actually is in keeping with a type of bone cancer. So it's entirely possible that they would see this as a cancerous growth. If you've ever seen a skull with it looks fuzzy, like a mushroom.
Okay.
But made entirely out of bones.
Okay.
That's a cartilaginous cancer. It's,
I have sort of a question. Well, not in character, but just so all the headless skeletons are lying on the ground, right, or in a.
All the headless skeletons are actually sitting up on around the circumference of the chamber itself, because it's a rounded out chamber
facing inward.
Facing inward, they do not. The skulls are on there. Right. The last part of it is basically around the center skull, the center skeleton. All of the skulls are arranged in there, looking up at it. So, say this is the main skeleton.
So the skulls are there. They're just not on the bodies.
Yeah, they're not on the bodies, so they have been removed. So basically, you have all of them around here.
Those are the skeletons.
Those are the skeletons, and then you have all of these skulls surrounding it in pattern.
How are they sitting up though? Because if it's a skeleton, there's no, there's nothing to connect these pieces. How are they? Were they lashed to with rope or something, or is there some sort of framework?
So they are current. From the information I was able to get from this, because I only got a couple pictures. They're freestanding. They seem to have been. They are frozen in place, and everything is just. It seems that the barest connections were keeping them there until. So
they must all have some kind of deformity, because you can't. Bones don't work like that normally.
I'm aware.
Okay. All right, so just the fact that they're sitting up is kind of fucked up. Okay. All right. Okay.
This is working out. So this is about as much as I could do. I'm sorry. I did not want to get any closer into this without arousing suspicion. Mm-hmm. So, but if you were able to give your research credentials, that should give them maybe enough of an excuse to go ahead and look at this. So, are there any other questions that I can help you with?
Well, can you give us some name that we can tell Father Callahan so he can help us? Does he trust you? Would he trust us?
He's already a little more suspicious of me because I've been around a week. But let me make a call, and I will be back to you right now. So, but take a look. All of the information is currently on the that's on the disc that I provide on here. So if you want to look at that a little bit more, sorry, I know it's hotel coffee, but it's kind of the best I can do at this moment. So please enjoy. So.
Mm-hmm.
I am pointedly not drinking any coffee.
Neither am I.
All right.
So you're a doctor, biologist?
Biologist. I don't know anything about actual medicine. I mostly work with... Most of what I do is theoretical anyway.
So I do with more of the practice of the opposite of biology, the just, blowing things up. So instead of figuring how things work.
I figure out how things work, and you figure out how to take them apart.
Yes, there we go.
We will get along.
Yeah.
It's okay, he's not too unhinged yet.
Yeah. Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I'm feeling these people aren't walking, they're underground with God knows what, breathing that in. So we should not go in ourselves without, air filters or some kind of mess. I would agree.
And I'm also thinking that a visit to the hotel gift shop is in order.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're going to be going to a location that is on a Catholic church, the very least that we should do is look like we would respect the traditions. So I'm going to find a tiny little silver cross and possibly a rosary. Would you gentlemen like rosaries as well?
Well, I'm feeling like I'm not so big on the research and stuff like that. I should probably be y'all's backup for this sort of situation. I can work out some kind of communication system so that you can. This is going to be in town, so you can text me or whatever if the second there's trouble. I mean, maybe underground that might be a problem, but I could keep it. I feel like I'm going to be not so good, actually, like trying to fake being a researcher. But you all probably want somebody with a piece ready to jump in case the shit hits the fan.
Also, yes.
Well, I definitely want to make nice with the locals. Could you spot me for the accessories? I'm a little short of cash at the moment.
Oh, honey, did you get mugged?
I mean, I didn't know when it happened, but...
Oh, pickpocket. See, that's why I carry an extra wallet on the outside, so that they can grab that one, and it's just full of newspaper clippings.
They got that one, too.
Oh, don't worry. I'll see what I can find.
Well, they might have an expense account or something, but yeah, we'll work out the plan. Has he come back in yet?
So, yeah, he has, so at this point, so just kind of shaking his head. All right, so I have managed to arrange for you a meeting in the morning with the father. So he is, he's going to expect you around 10 a.m., so, but plenty of time to get in there. Your cover, I told him right now that we've had some researchers who are interested in this, particularly with the body deformations that might be able to help. So, but you got to provide your own credentials. So, because they're assuming right now anything else to make the Catholic Church look like shit is going to be a bad press for them, and they're really trying to avoid that right now with all the other hell they're going through. So,
so I'll stay. Yeah, just so you know, I'll be the silent partner of this. I'm not going to go in as a thing. I'll be their backup in case something happens. But
good. Just excuse me. Takes one of the coffee cups and drinks it. God, I fucking hate how cold they are. That's like they keep it in these places just all the goddamn time.
What is the temperature like?
Go ahead and take a look. Does
it feel normal to me?
So go ahead. Actually, everybody else can go ahead and make awareness checks. So
okay.
All right.
Alertness. I failed.
I critically failed. I see nothing.
Fail.
So, mainly that's the point of you realize, and during this time that. You realize, it's just been really cold all the time, and you maybe have just been concentrating on it, but damn, they have this AC blowing.
Is it one of those things where it's summer outside until they keep it freezing inside?
Yeah, what time of year is this?
So, it's right now it's fall, so it's the beginning of fall, so...
Okay, and we're in Norfolk, Virginia. So
It's not too cold out there, but, it's one of those things, but you kind of figure from that, like, God, just stupid hotels, so... Working from it. Sorry, no, I always think keep it right now. That's why I offer the coffee to begin with. So, but anyway,
I'll have a cup.
Alrighty then. Well,
I will pass in mine.
Yeah.
This I haven't drank it. You probably here.
Thanks. No, thanks. I appreciate it. Just so takes it. Well, if you need my room, it's like here's my room number right now. I'm going to be keeping here to kind of run. That's like run ops in case you need anything. So, including the list of our green box storage. If you find out that blade needs to get the hell out of here. So
or anything else,
just let me know as soon as possible. Got it?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks.
So, in the evening, I am gonna make a quick gift shop stop.
Okay.
See if I can find cross pendant for me, cross lapel pin for. Isaac, and see if I can scare up a couple of rosaries.
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna say that's gonna be Actually, let's go here. I'll say you can go ahead and do that. So that's honestly not that big of a deal to get. So this is again. Norfolk, especially around there, you'll find places that have that around it. I will actually have you roll one luck check though, just to see if what you get is obviously you actually find.
I should call before I roll.
Yeah, call it. So call it because this is seeing if you can find a local Catholic store that actually sells genuine, or is just kind of your cheap offsite gift shop?
Let's see. We're going to go low. 25.
All right, you actually find a local Catholic shop in a strip mall somewhere. So you
no, it's not in a strip mall. I can tell you exactly where I would find one.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the halfway house that is sponsored by a church within the diocese, because within the halfway house, they always have a little bitty store where the recovering, depending on what kind of halfway house, those who are in recovery tend to make rosaries that they sell for cheap, but you buy for donations. So basically the sale price on it is like 25 cents, but you throw an extra $1 into the tin, so God will bless you for getting those rosaries.
Sadly, I have seen that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, good. Yep, that's fine.
All right.
But you're more than able to do that. So, all right. That's like, guys, you can go ahead and discuss your own strategy right now. I'm going to be right back, and then we will continue on.
So I mean that kind of tunnel is easy to collapse if it's necessary. It's going to cause it's going to be extremely noticeable and extremely
Is it possible to make it extremely accidental?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, this structure that we
they uncovered it by accident, but they were just exhuming bodies to expand the property, right?
I mean, that's the thing is like they said the church was established in 1911. So like when was this crypt? And so the cemetery wouldn't have been established until then.
Yeah, I want to find out how old that crypt is. I can get a better idea of that once I get down there and get a look at the mason work and get a look at that sword if I can.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a whole thing. If we collapse that,
it's entirely possible that thing predates the church.
Probably. I'm worried if it goes underneath the church or underneath any other buildings. How big did they say it?
Well, the thing is, if it predates the church, they would have known about it when they built it. There's no way they could have built a big old church like that in a cemetery without stumbling on it. So they chose. So if it predates it, then they chose to have it there, and that's. I have no idea what that would mean, but like that's significant. So they knew about this entire. Well, then. But if they knew about it this entire time, they would have kept records about it. And so they wouldn't have been surprised by it unless someone kept a secret from the younger generation of priests.
Unless current management just didn't make those records available.
Well, they call it, it means that, like...
Look, we're looking at 31 bodies. It's entirely possible that some of those bodies were added after the fact, say grave diggers who accidentally discovered a hole... And then whoever is covering this up decided to add one more.
Well, if they did that, then that means that they were expecting to have bodies, because look at how it's arranged. If you were going to arrange 30 bodies, you would they're arranged in a very nice symmetrical pattern. So like if you only had 28 the first time, you would have had to make space for those last two bodies. So you had to expect two more bodies were going to be showing up. So and only two bodies. So. It seems more likely that they had all 31 at once and made that nice little pattern. I remember on the internet seeing some church in Europe that had a bunch of bones set up in there. How large
was the crypt based on the photos?
The crypt itself is it's not huge right now. It's probably about it's like about 50 meters wide. So it's not gigantic, but it's pretty sizable for what it is. So,
but like, by the way, the support, like the buttresses and shit, are those wood or like stone or metal, or what are they made out
of? Those appear to be stone. So
stone, okay, yeah. Like stone pillars are used holding it up. Okay.
So it looks like it looks. You can't really tell from it. You'd have to get inside of it to really look around. But it looks like something that was constructed pretty meticulously. So
is it like dirt tunnels or is it like stone tunnels on it?
So it's a dirt tunnel that's going underneath.
But it has stone support,
stone reinforcements going on the inside. So think of it. Yeah,
so it would be easy to collapse, as you're thinking.
Well, not as easy as wood. Wood you could just burn. But this is actually going to take like actual
boom.
Destructive power.
Not necessarily, but like more accelerants. It's also like depends on the grade of dirt. Like how tightly packed is the dirt? It's obviously pretty solid, so it's not going to be easy to destroy without getting equipment or explosives that are easy to trace.
Yeah,
or take a long time to manufacture.
Yeah.
So,
and part of the reason that they even discovered it, and I forgot to add this detail, is that they were actually using They were using. It's like ground penetrating. It's like radar and sonographs to be able to make sure that the graves that they were removing were still structurally sound.
And that's how they found it.
Yeah, that's how they ended up finding it. Thank you, David. So,
the church didn't know. The current church leadership didn't know about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had this, or they wouldn't have been like telling. They would have if they were like, "Oh, we need to move the cemetery." Well, we better take that underground crypt into account. So they didn't know about it. Mm-hmm. So that means if the church knew about it when it was being built, or something like that, that means priests of that generation chose to keep it secret from the other priests, which is significant. And so what I want to do is pull up maps and shit, and like I have military science and navigation, and I want to look at maps of the area and try and pull up like sewage maps, and maps that show sewage lines, places where the rivers, see if there's any other underground like tunnels or caves or anything in the vicinity that might link into this.
Okay, go ahead and make that roll.
Okay,
let's see.
Nope.
Okay. Unfortunately, any of the maps that were concurrent, you can see the maps right now, the current ones. That's pretty easy to overlay. There's no modern things that are linking into it, and unfortunately, the information that you're seeing right now for the oldest map, which I think goes back to 1947, and from the last time the diocese did a census on the area, they decided to not. It's like that doesn't take into account any kind of structurals, any kind of city structures like sewers, waterworks, electrical going off to the side. So no kind of access ports that would be near it.
Okay.
So nothing else that you can really see outside of it.
Okay. What time of day is it?
Currently, it's about 6 p.m. So it's going to be late start. So, because you all came in there, but he expected you to kind of get in there, do the briefing, and then probably rest up for the next day.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be looking at that for a while. So yeah.
Okay.
How detailed is the photograph of the skeleton in the middle and the sword?
The sword itself, the skeleton's pretty well, but it's probably about from 10 or 15 feet back too, because you're guessing that from the look of the size, he just kind of quickly got in pictures probably before he was asked to leave or gotten away. So you can't see the sword quite yet. I will say you can give I will allow you to do an initial anthropology check at a -20 since the photo is not great.
Okay, at a -20, I'm at 0.
Okay. Oh, is your anthropology not that?
20.
You're 20? Okay.
My history is good.
Your history?
But my anthropology is not.
Okay, so what about archaeology?
Archaeology, 50.
50? Okay, do that in -20 then.
-20.
All right, that'll work, so.
Crit fail.
Are you kidding me?
Double 8s.
Oh my god, so, no, it's like, God, that actually looks really close like one of the Lord of the Ring props that your partner has hanging up in the office. That's uncanny.
Is this a hoax? I think this is a hoax.
Mild hoax around. So, all right, that's what you're looking up, and it's like Kelly.
Well, I've got a forensics at 60, and I've got each of the sciences. I'm thinking that I want to see if I can take a closer look at those growths on the back of the non-headless one.
Okay, you can take an initial look because you're not quite in front of it, so that'll be the same one. You'll be at a -20, though, since you're only seeing this through a photo.
Nope. Not a crit fail, though.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a picture. Okay.
Yeah, so it's odd, it's weird, but you've seen you've basically seen biological mutations before, so this honestly might be something like that.
I'm still thinking cancer. So since that's a really quick, nope. Can I use the rest of the evening to familiarize myself with a couple of Catholic rituals, because I figure that the best way for us to get good access is for me to do a good impression on Father Callahan in the morning. So drill, basically do the same thing that one would at college. cram a Hail Mary into my head so that I know it by rote.
Okay.
As well as an Our Father and the proper order to say them in as far as the rosary is concerned. An appropriate sounding time for my first communion.
Okay. Are you
passing knowledge? I'm basically trying to pass as Catholic so that I can say I am a believer.
Okay.
We're actually not here to hurt you. We're not here to make the church look bad. We actually want to help you in any way we can.
Okay.
Are you going to be
scheme?
Yes.
Okay. Are you trying to push yourself through the night to stay up and do this?
Not through the night, no. But I know from experience that you can cram a Hail Mary and an Our Father into your head long enough to pass at a family reunion in about an hour.
Okay.
So it's not going to take
Maybe just have him make an in check to see if he remembers it.
Yeah, I'm going to say that even though, you're going to do that, but you're going to be if you do this, you're going to be a slight negative because you're still, this is after a train trip and everything too. So, all right, so you go ahead and make your in check on that to see if you even remember it.
I'm post-grad. It's not my first jam session either.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so...
Can I spend a Moxie Fata Will to flip it?
Delta Green is not a game where you get Fate Moxie Will.
No, sorry, you don't get that. So, but yeah, that's the -10 right now, and when you see that, the Father, you'll be saying, Father, Son, and Holy Spigot. So, that's what's going to happen. All right, but it's like you keep
That's where they
yourself
get the
up on
holy
it.
water from.
But you'll go later that night, too. Everybody, roll luck.
Okay. Low.
All right, so low.
I make it.
Okay.
I make it on a high.
Okay.
Fail.
Fail? Okay. So, let's see. So, yeah. It's like Greg, or as Arshu, you are
high and I rolled a 1.
Yeah, it's like you're just kind of sleeping fitfully for the night, but you don't remember a lot other than just kind of... it's like feeling...
There's...
intense regret and then better. So that's where you're thinking right now. Glug.
Indone Padre, something.
I made my
cross.
Yeah, you did make your check. So, what is the last memory that you have with your daughter? What's the last memory of the last fight you've had with your daughter?
Last fight?
Last fight.
Aside from the one today?
Well, I mean, one where you feel really bad about it.
Oh, okay. It was the one where I took away her PlayStation and sold it.
Okay.
She didn't get good grades, and I said I would do that if she didn't get good grades.
Okay.
And she was heartbroken, and she lost her save file, and she was just like, I felt like a heel because there was I didn't realize how much she loved playing those games. So
okay. So it's about that. So how much do you feel like that pained you?
I feel guilty, but I mean, obviously I bought it again for a new one for a PlayStation Pro for Christmas that year.
Okay, so it's something.
I still oh God, I'm such a I feel like a piece. I still feel like a piece of shit for it.
So it definitely you feel like a piece of shit, but something you were able to kind of come back from.
Yeah,
okay,
and her grades weren't that bad. I overreacted.
All right, so it's about So with that, well, we'll hold on for a second. So, and then Kelly, same thing. What is a situation in which you felt the last thing you really guilty for?
Okay, so let's talk about a bond that I've got that I haven't mentioned yet. Deborah next door. She and I are part of the neighborhood watch, and one of the things that we always do is we go around on the visits to the new people who've moved in, and we always bring the banana bread or whatever fucking thing that she found on Pinterest this week. And that last time around, she wasn't exactly nice to that couple that moved in on the corner, and they're sweet boys, they really are, but she had to calm down on them for their lifestyle, and I called her out in front of everybody, and old Mrs. Gamage across the street actually came out on my side on that one, and so Deborah and I haven't exactly been best buds ever since, because Mrs. Gamage is the one that always calls the cops on Debbie every time that she has a party that goes on, even if it's like 9:01 at night, she calls the cops for a noise complaint, and Gamage is on my side now, and I can throw the parties, and Debbie can't. But Debbie's got the space for it, and I don't. So now I've got to make nice throughout the entire neighborhood because Debbie couldn't keep her mouth shut about the fact that there were two cute guys that moved in on the corner that are actually into each other and not her tits.
Okay. So just the awkward social interaction that you kind of proceeded to go through. All right. So something you feel kind of bad for, but not something that's just wrecking your entire evening. So
it's not wrecking the entire evening, but I have to put together an entire chart of trying to figure out how do I fix this.
Okay.
Do I have to slap an old lady? Do I have to say something mean to the guys who are actually doing something nice to that old house that needs revitalization? Or do I need to just get Debbie really drunk? Which one is going to be the quickest, easiest, most cost-effective? It's not going to be getting her drunk on the cost-effective because Debbie can put it away.
Okay. So, all right. So you're kind of thinking about that, and both you, it's like both Glug, Kelly, you're in your particular dreams when you suddenly feel like that weight's being lifted. That you don't feel as bad about, you know what, it's a game console, she's fine, or, you know what, this is just the stupid asshole neighbors, it shouldn't be as fine, but there's something you're hearing behind you that just, it's almost like a voice in your head saying that guilt should be held on, that's still wrong, and it starts getting louder and louder and sounding more like a wail. Are you turning around to see what that noise is?
Is that a humpback?
Yeah.
All right.
When you say a wail, is it like, ah, or do you mean, ooh, or is it somewhere in between?
But as you turn around to your respective ones, it seems like there's a void behind you, and that's like the only thing standing there is a woman that with black hair that is bleeding from the eyes, white skin, just screaming at you, wailing in agony. So go and make your sand checks.
Yeah, that's fair. Make it.
Okay.
I'm fine.
What'd you make?
I've got an 11.
Oh, critically succeeded.
Critical success. I'm going to materialize a brush and just fix your hair.
All right. So, but you just look about that, but that's when you immediately wake up and you have memory of both. So as you're just kind of sitting there alone in your hotel room. So, Glug, you succeed. So, and you realize in your mind that it's like you, as fading away, no, you need to remember that pain. You need to remember that because that's something that tells you who you are. Just it makes you a better parent, just realizing your mistake and moving forward, even if it's a bad memory. So it's painful, but you find a way to turn away your vision away from this woman, and you blank out, and suddenly that guilty feeling is back, and you wake back up.
Okay.
So that's like going through. So, but in a cold sweat and going, the hell is that? So,
Dad, owe you a bottle of Bailey's. We're going to get turned up. Don't worry about those dudes. I think that I know a guy who could use a date. Do you know my lab partner, Derek? ?
Okay.
Winky face.
All right.
Send.
So, and you, as like you eventually go back to sleep, so it takes you a while since that was goddamn disturbing. So, but you wake up, and Shu, you had a pretty damn rest. It's like you thought you might have had a bad restful of a couple nightmares, but you can't remember it. But you feel waking really great, except God, your neck is stiff. Let's see. Let me see your character sheet for a second.
Damn hotel pillows.
You would think that would be
Oh
the
yeah,
case.
they are shitty, aren't they?
So, subtract a point of your bond from Michelle.
All right.
No. Stiff. So, alrighty then. So, alright, but you wake up, so, other two, do you discuss the dreams last night, or are you just keeping that to yourself?
Yeah, I'm keeping that. No.
Let's see. Guy I met last night who likes to shoot things. Guy I met last night who likes to read things. I'm going to say no.
Okay. So,
As a matter of fact, I'm going to be going down to the hotel breakfast and pretending like I don't know anybody here
okay. So,
in the hopes of possibly, well, having a quiet breakfast to myself.
okay.
I sit down next to her.
Alright. So.
You guys doing okay? I slept like a rock. So did my neck, apparently.
Boy, your neck stiff?
Yeah, just a bit.
Oh, I thought it was fine
Yeah.
for me.
I know nothing of medicine, so
Should
I
see a
hear
chiropractor.
Oh yeah, I've got a guy up.
I mean, after the job, obviously.
Well,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. I'll make a appointment
while I
once
was
once we
driving
get
around,
done
I
tomb
saw
raiding,
this,
and I'd make
saw
amends
this-
for my
Yeah.
for all the work cover.
I did see a sign while I was picking up the. Oh, by the way, here's your rosary.
Thank you.
For what was it? Oh yeah, it was Dr. Vindaloo's acupuncture. Sounds legit. Have you guys tried the bagels yet? They're
I think I saw a commercial on Basic Cable. Yeah,
I mean, they're bagels. Like, they're not... It's fine. It's just carbs.
they're plain.
Yeah.
All right. So,
But
but
they've also got bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
And it actually seems like actual bacon, not the turkey bacon they try to pass off at most of these places.
Same as you get in a mess hall. It's fine.
okay. All right. So you
You're
get
not eating breakfast?
I ate breakfast. I ate early. I had to go jogging.
All right. You all get a text message from Callahan. Said that the morning eggs weren't really settling in with him well. So sorry, I'm an old man, bad digestion. So he's somehow rambling about that in his text message. God, so you need to know that. But he says that just let him know as soon as you find out anything from the site and Father Callahan. Or
Okay, so here's what
Wow, he is old. He started it with Dear Agents and finished it with yours, Kellen. Like he was writing an actual letter.
Here's one thing I suggest. One, I'm gonna go to a gas station, get three cheap prepaid phones. I'll put all of the numbers in each one with LK for me, and so on. Just initials for names, and I'll come back, give each of you a phone, and I'm gonna spend the day looking around the neighborhood, figure out. Just take photos of the place. I got a camera, and also figure out escape routes if we have to leave in a hurry, that kind of thing.
Yeah, do we have code words to text each other for if we need to suddenly bug out or if we need you to come a running?
Yeah, if you want to use code words, give me one something academic sounding you could work in that I'll use to mean come soon, and then 1 to 5 stars, essentially. So we'll work out a system of code words for 1 to 5 stars.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that trade card right now, but
How about help, OMG, scary, or save me?
well, I want to. Words you can work in a normal conversation about this because you might leave your phone on, and I could just be listening.
Oh, okay. So that's why.
yeah.
I was about to say, if I'm just going to text it to you, I'm just going to text SOS or
Yeah. So yeah, I'll if it's 1 star, I'll just come in. But if it's 5 stars, I'll come in with a gun. So just so you know, and if anybody gets in my way between finding you two, I will shoot them at 5 stars. So
Is 3 stars you with a lead pipe?
3 stars is I will look around. I will have a gun out, but I will not shoot on sight. I will just threaten.
I'm just trying to figure out just where our levels are.
okay. So
Yeah, so we'll spend an hour sort of planning that out, and I'm just doing basic you two go in, I will be your backup, and I will be scoping out the neighborhood, seeing if anybody else is watching this, seeing if there's anything shifty in the area. Also just figuring out the geography of this place to see if there's any, I didn't see anything from maps, so maps aren't accurate always. So
okay.
See if there's storm drains, shit like that. And also just where's a good escape route? If we get in a car and I can start driving, we need to get the fuck out very quickly. Where should I drive to? So,
Okay.
look for foreclosed houses, empty houses, that kind of thing.
all right.
That we can just, kick the door in and, hide in for a little bit.
So okay.
Well, that's, worst case scenario.
Scenarios that you're worried about too. All right. So that's how.
So that's what I'll be doing my time at, basically making alertness checks around the neighborhood while those two talk their way.
Or as I like to think of it, hobomancy.
Yeah.
Well, you have everything that you need right now. So and the phones were not a problem to get at all. So you can go down there.
I'm also going to go biology. Yeah, what kind of masks should I get? I can go, if you want me to make a run to the hardware store or, I don't know, someplace else. I was thinking about the paint mask used for painting.
Odd 5.
On what roll?
Biology to figure out what kinds of masks
Okay.
are what are going to keep us mostly safe from airborne things?
Okay. Down there. There are heavier, basically painting masks that have larger filters. So not like the basic ones, but with the side filters that usually go.
The ones that look like the gas mask. Almost?
Yes, there are baseline particulates too. Things that you would actually see in like painting hood. Those will probably be good for in a short pinch.
All right. So I'll get those and get them to you two. So you two, if you first time you get access to it, you can just expose yourself.
So also, actually, David, go ahead and make. Actually, I would say Greg and David, you can both make an intelligence roll.
All right.
Success. Critically made.
Success. Okay, critically. David, you also realize that if you you can buy those on site, but if you manage to make a large enough case right now, the university probably already has research grade that's like dust masks and everything down there to protect from any kind of pathogens. So if you make your case long enough, you can probably borrow equipment. They're probably more likely going to have enough for everybody,
assuming it's not compromised.
That's true.
Yeah. But on the other hand, buying and bringing our own in does two things, Aaron. One, it shows that we are prepared, that we know a little bit about the site ahead of time.
Okay.
And two, it also shows our willingness to bring other resources and not be a drain on the resources already on site. So that actually makes us look better to have our own supplies.
Also, I'll need a mask because if I'm coming in on,
that's a possibility, but like I said, we'll see how well that works.
Yeah.
So, all right, but you got everything, so you're splitting off to that. As you're splitting off to get your stuff before you go out, Ross and David, go ahead, or start plugging. Kelly, go ahead and make an alertness check.
I'm going to fail this. Yeah, that's a 28 out of 20. I have no alertness.
All right.
All right.
Yes, yeah.
Should I make one too? Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. So you thought something you caught movement in the corner of your eye as that's like as you're all turning away, but you just kind of assume like float or something else. I guess it's a bright day. So
wait a minute. If I'm going to be talking to a priest, that doesn't mean wear my cleavage interview shirt. That means wear the high.
Yep.
That's an oops. I almost put a hex on the whole thing. Hang on. I'm going to go upstairs and change.
Okay, well, but you gather all the information, everything that you need, and head out. It takes about, 30 minutes to go ahead and get out to the parish. It is more of a countryside Catholic church, so not really huge or grandiose, but obviously not. But they're doing things for refurbishments. You can actually see where there were construction crews off to the side that were doing the excavations, as well as clean tents that had been set up by the university researchers who were there to be able to go in. Go down into the catacomb to make sure that it's all that they don't contaminate the site itself. So, but you do find yourself at the main office and ask for Father Callahan, who, since it's not a Sunday, he is. It's actually a Thursday, so there's no particular mass this night. So he's available. So yes, may I help you?
Yes. We were sent in by Mr. Kellen to be of as much assistance as we possibly could on the site.
Ma'am and gentlemen, I appreciate the candor with that Mr. Kellen believes that his experience will bring to this little odd. To what we're looking into. I'm sure he's already told you about a catacomb that was found, but I assure you it's not secret, it's not nefarious, or anything that he wants out of the tabloids. This is church business. We are registering this also with the the government and the university to make sure that it's copacetic for a burial site.
Bureaucracy?
Bureaucracy. So unless there's a given reason you really need to be here outside of just the hopes that you'll get an interesting story out of this, I must decline you.
Bureaucracy.
What's your bureaucracy? What are you doing?
I'm attempting to use the skill bureaucracy in a way that the character knows how to, that I, David, do not.
Well, just make
persuade the priest by basically saying, well, according to this and this and this and this and paperwork things and this and that, we ought to really get a look in there. And really, because it's not underneath the church proper, but it is outside on the church site, either the church owns this crypt and knows of the crypt's existence, complete with all of those beheaded corpses and that crazy ancient burial ground and all of that stuff, or the church doesn't know, and it's actually a free and open site, and all we really need to do is just take a quick look and make sure that this is something that the church has absolutely no involvement with, other than the fact that the church happens to own the land that it's on. Really, when you get right down to it, we are asking for your permission. We are trying to work with you, and we are trying to make you look good in this by spinning it your way. But on the other hand, we could not do all of those things and let you end up looking really, really bad. But we don't want you to look bad. We want you to look good.
Okay, that's way more of a persuade check. So, but you've made your case, so go ahead. You can roll persuade.
I don't want to roll persuade, Aaron, because I have a bad persuade. That's why I'm trying to throw bureaucracy at it.
How about this? You know about environmental laws because you're a biologist, so you could say...
Oh, that would be a law spin instead.
No, it would be bureaucracy. Bureaucracy would work for a regulation. So you could say, for example, because of the growths on the skeletons, you need to do environmental impact study to make sure there's no rare and endangered organisms in this environment that could be negatively impacted by digging up the grave.
Exactly.
And we don't want this to be a whole spotted snail darter incident like the last time, Father, when that happened.
So
that's good. So go ahead. That would work for bureaucracy. So if you're going with that, make the roll.
Ought one.
Okay, so Father Callahan is terrified of the fact that the EPA, that they might have the EPA come descending on them if there's some sort of carcinogen that causes massive bone cancer. So
or an endangered species.
Yeah, or endangered species. So you've managed to convince him. He has given you the contact clearances to be able to do that. He tells you to go ahead and talk to, let's see, Greg. Give me the name of an anthropological researcher.
Anthropological, Dr. Horatio something.
Wait a minute, Darlington.
Horatio Darlington.
God damn it! I don't know why I let you people do this. So, Horatio Darlington. Okay, so yes, Dr. Horatio Darlington is the current anthropology lead on this. So he is currently assisting with his postgraduate students down there. So, but you're given full clearance. So. Go ahead and walk on down. So,
okay. Full disclosure: I have absolutely no idea how any of that worked.
Environmental laws are pretty strict.
Yeah, they're.
No. I'm saying in character. Full disclosure: I have no idea how that worked.
That's kind of your job here. So, working through there. As you go up there, it basically is a large ramp going up to the area. As I said, there's a clean tent where you can get into. They are having people get into clean suits. They ask you to put any other equipment off to the side as well. There's a bunch of other student researchers going down. Are you complying with it, or are you trying to hide anything on yourself while you're...
I'm not going. I'm outside. Remember, I'm scout.
Oh, yeah, you're on the scout patrol. So, all right, so you two, then you're going in. So
I didn't give them any of my guns, so, if they have guns, that's on them.
All right. So...
They said set equipment aside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this cell phone isn't exactly equipment, and I don't think that they really mean for us to not have a cell phone.
So they are actually restricting cell phones down there. One, because because any kind of recording devices need to be rated for any of the walls down there to make sure the light's not going on, and also you're not getting any signals. So they're just they do have a.
They don't want you to take photos and leak them to the press.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, but they do have they do have radios that go back and forth. So, but they provided lock boxes for you if you want to secure things upstairs.
Okay, so what is the hide the cell phone on my person roll?
So that will be.
Is there a conceal?
I thought there was a conceal on here. Let me see.
I don't see one under C.
There used to be.
Stealth would obviously work.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and roll stealth on that. I thought there used to be.
Yeah, I've got a stealth at 10, so that's a no.
Same.
You can try to persuade to make an excuse to you that you need it. So,
I have
or that you'll turn it off, which is a blatant lie.
Oh yeah, just okay. It's fine. Just turn it off. Just see, it's off.
Okay, persuade.
76 out of 20.
Sorry, sir. This is a secured area. You need to put
Ma'am.
it off.
Did you just misgender me? How dare you? I have never been so insulted.
Sorry, ma'am.
Did you see what he just did to me, Isaac?
Sorry, ma'am. The one suits or one suit fits
That
all.
is so rude.
Have you seen Shaun of the Dead? It's kind of hard sometimes. We're in these. So anyway,
I'm going to try to misdirect him. Is there a deceit skill?
well, you've already you've made your roll, so you're not going to get it down here.
Okay.
So, all right, Greg.
Try to cover for Greg by just taking this guy's slip and just getting up in his face about it.
Well, you're already doing that. Are you trying to get anything or down there, or are you just taking what you?
No, I'm going to shoot Klug a quick text, basically conveying that I'm going to be incognito for a couple hours, maybe. Won't have access to the phone.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, going with it down there. So, all right, you
Check back
guys
in.
make your descents. So, and we'll get back to you in a second.
One thing before.
Okay. What do you mean?
Take cell phone before I have to put it in the lockbox. Check the radio frequency. I am going to text to LK. Frequency for radio is 401 megahertz.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. So,
Okay.
I'm going to hope that he knows how to tap into the frequency.
Demolition's not signals intelligence. I have no idea how to do that. I'm flattered that you think I can. It's flattering.
All right.
I can't.
all right.
I
So,
assume that you're like Rambo and could do all of those Army guy things.
Yep, that in the Marines. So no, but
Okay, I'm sorry. I assume that you're like. Was Rambo in the Marines? I don't even know. I assume that you're like that guy who could do everything that was in the.
Yep, that's not how that works. But yeah,
It's not
anyways.
Frank Castle.
all right. So, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, but you guys go down. We'll get back to you
That's
here
the
in a
guy
second.
from the movie
So,
with the skull t-shirt,
all right,
right?
you're driving around the neighborhood.
Yeah, that
so it's
Basically, I have like a decent like prosumer kind of like point and shoot camera, like way better than a cell phone, but not like it looks like I'm a tourist taking or like someone looking at just taking photos. Maybe like just be real casual civilian dress, all blah blah blah.
okay. So you're just kind of outside doing like fall foliage pictures, which would work out. So all right, go ahead. Is there anything particular you're looking for? Or
For the things I'm looking for, one, obviously vehicles. Certainly, like if there are dudes in sunglasses and parked vehicles nearby, that's going to be like definitely note that. Two, geography, just like get a sense of the lay of the land, so that like if I have to go here at night, I would know how to navigate it. And two, like three things like storm drains, sewer entrances. Elevation, like is this flat or is this hilly? Like where are the ups and downs?
okay,
And basically just like surveying it to see like what I can figure out about like I know that there's a crypt under that cemetery. What does the land on the surface tell me about that? Like,
okay. From where you can stand, just looking from that picture, the crypt itself, where you were given access to the maps and everything else, is currently it stands basically right before the edge of a hilly grove. So there's a lot of trees that were behind it that were not cleared out. So there's probably a fairly extensive root system. There's nothing that's going to go back there unless you're just wandering off into the woods.
Okay.
So the whole church itself maybe is on a larger hill that slopes downward. So it's part of when you drive by, you can actually see the entirety of the cemetery itself.
So it's next. So the church, the grounds are next to a forest.
Yes, it's basically large deciduous forest off to the side. So
What is that forest rated at? Is it like private land? Is it a park?
that is still on church property too. It extends for that part of the church property extends for about a mile or two before it becomes national park territory.
Is that open to the public? Can I go on that land?
They do have a walking trail back there, but it's currently closed off. It's currently closed off right now for renovations. It was actually part of the move that they were doing with the current cemetery.
Oh, so they're moving in one part of the same land to another part.
Yes, so they had realized that the local recent floods had almost destabilized the cemetery, so they wanted to move it on the opposite side of the hill to be able to make it more secure.
All right, so I'm just going to search for a couple miles and around the area and just basically look for again, unusual vehicles. Also drive by the church every hour or so to see if there are any changes in what cars are parked there.
Okay. I will allow you to go ahead and make an alertness check at a +10 since you are spending your entire day doing
48.
that. 48?
So I make it, yeah.
Yep, success. All right, excellent. As you're going through most of the cars, you don't actually see anything else besides the same staff cars that were there. You see other church vehicles that are coming by, parishioners that are coming in to see the Father every once in a while. So nothing big. The one thing you do see that's kind of striking you as odd, as on three rounds between doing this, getting something at a gas station and coming on back for it, is there seems to be one redheaded woman that is just walking in a circuit that seems to stop at the cemetery, and then she kind of makes she stops, will go back, and then start rounding about the block again until it ends, and makes her way back. She's not looking up at anybody. She's kind of shuffling instead, but the only thing you notice is giving furtive looks back over to the cemetery itself when she gets back into view of it.
Okay, how old does she look?
Somewhere in her late 20s, early 30s.
How is she dressed?
So, she looks like she's in fairly casual clothes, just slacks, that's a flannel shirt that's kind of pulled over. You notice that it's a bit more of a high collared one too, so she's kind of clutching, and it is a fall day too, but she's not wearing much of anything else, so she could be a little bit cold depending on that.
Okay. Shoes, like normal flats, or
looks like she's wearing hiking boots. So
hiking boots. Okay.
Yeah. So,
is she in an area that is accessible to the public?
Yeah, it's just basically she was just going out back and forth along the sidewalk and then up the roadway that was leading up to the church itself and back. So
okay.
But she's kind of giving furtive glances from it every once in a while. So, and in particular, when I will say once you see her about the third or fourth time, so that kind of gets a little bit stiff. For some reason, you're not really sure why, but it's just maybe it's sitting in the car for this long. But
my neck,
yeah, okay. It's my neck. But another thing of this, back to your bonds. What's another bond that you have?
My current girlfriend, Miranda.
What's the last thing that you felt really guilty about with Miranda?
Telling her that I thought cruise ships were stupid and I don't want to go on a vacation on one.
Okay, so something that really hurt her feelings.
Yeah, she was looking forward to it, and I was like, no, I'm not spending money to go on a fucking mall on the water.
All right.
Let's go to a beach and just stay on the beach. And, she was really mad because I just called it stupid.
Completely dissonant. So how painful do you feel that was a memory on your bond? So
I mean, it was dumb for me. Even if it's not the place I don't want to go. If it makes her happy, I was stupid. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, but this is another case of take up. It's like you feel you don't know why you're feeling that. That's just kind of odd from there, but. It's like immediately it seems like it's fading away. It's almost like a jolt in your mind. Although when you do that, the pain in your neck gets bad again, and it's a little bit odd. Roll another sanity check.
All right. Fail that one.
Fail that one. Yeah. So just lose 2 because that shouldn't bother you as much. But then it's the fact that it's gone. You don't think about it. It's like, why should I even bother about that? She's being a bitch about this anyway. God, I'm always right. Yeah. That feels really good. But the thing is, it's not that really thought that bothers you as much. It's that when you do have that thought and that kind of beautiful release, that woman is looking right at you. Just staring at you in the car. And you're about, it's like you're down the road from where you see her. But the way she's looking, it's locked in.
All right.
And she quickens her pace and starts booking it down the road.
Okay. I assume I mentioned I had a camera. I assume I got photos of her.
So, I won't say it's luck. You do, because that was part of the investigation. So,
okay. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to see where she goes.
Okay, so are you trying to be sneaky about it?
No, she already saw me. I don't give a shit.
She sees you following, and she's dead on sprint running.
I'm in a car.
It is terrified. So
okay.
Let's see.
I want to see at least what direction she's going.
Okay. Yeah. She. Are you trying to get beside her, or?
No, I just want to see where she's going.
She's just running down the street, and she's trying to make the corner around it. But let's see. Doesn't notice the car that's coming out of the intersection, and that's like the intersection, and falls down to the street, but almost being taken out. The person stops enough, and is just honking their horn and screaming at her. She scrambles back up and starts running down the street again.
Okay.
And then disappears around a corner.
Okay, I'm following to see where she goes around the corner.
Okay.
I want to see what happens. I'm going to keep following her.
Okay, so she. I will say that if you keep chasing her right now, she's just going to keep running until she's going through. If you want to, I will say this might be a stealth check. Or do you have drive?
I do have drive.
Roll drive to see if you can keep pace in a way where she doesn't see you, or you think she's lost.
I fail that.
Okay, so. She doesn't stop moving, so your only choice right now is to basically
stop at a stoplight or something.
and stop at a stoplight, or just get out and take her. So,
okay, I will pull over and park if I can, and start running after her.
Okay, so all right, athletic check.
Yep. Fail that 95.
All right, she's apparently
took too long to park.
Yeah, she took long to park, so she's kind of out. But
okay,
but I will say you do see. I will say for your effort, though, you do see that she has dropped something. So along the way, when you kind of picked out, because she was part of her shirt actually, so it's because she was wearing something just undershirt underneath, and it seemed like she was tearing it off. And it does have an ID on it, and of a name of Ashley Connor. So
Ashley Connor. What kind of ID is it?
It is a student ID for the University of Norfolk.
Okay.
So. Looks like she's a postgraduate student. So, which
is it a current or is it an expired ID?
This is a current ID. So it looks like she was attending. Attending this year.
Okay.
So, but it does give an address and also current. And listings. It's like listing to return for the dorm. So you have that information.
Yep.
So
all right.
So. Back down in the crypt. So you get down there, and the pictures of it pretty much kind of give it as it was. You see different, looks like postgraduate students that are moving around the area. So you can't really tell everybody specifically apart because they're wearing a lot of clean suits and the respirators. But but you do see a taller gentleman in the corner too, like really gangly, which it has a university ID that just says Dr. Darlington on it. They seem to be converging around the center. That's like the center skeleton, and are dusting. Looks like they're trying to dust off of the blade that it's holding. So, but right now you're currently. That's like nobody's stopping you from looking or doing anything. So, what are you looking at?
Well, let's take a look at the skeletons around the edges first, see if we can figure out cause of death.
Okay. The first thing I want to do is assess the crypt itself, see if I can figure out how and when it was made.
Okay, so go ahead.
Based on the size, the materials, the structure.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and make a, I would say that would be an archaeology roll.
Archaeology. All right, then. That's a fail.
Okay, so you won't be able to see it right now just because it's still, given the structure, especially if this was made by a couple people at best, because this was not very, this area probably was existing almost as long as the actual Catholic Church, this particular church itself. So that's pretty damn odd overall, depending on what's happening.
About the same age as the church itself?
Yeah, so this is, that's you're actually looking at sides from the records, and they're starting to carbon date some stuff, so it's a little bit off from it. So, all right.
Well, it's not as far off as you would think. I mean, the church has been party to a lot of freaky stuff. I mean, this whole situation smacks of Saint Noyala, who you remember that one, I'm sure, because you went through catechism when you were younger, where the one got her head cut off and decided that she was going to continue going on until she got to the church and rest peacefully, and so she picked up her head and carried it the other 3 miles to the church. And, she's a saint. Patron saint of a couple of areas. Wells actually sprung up from her blood. It's...
Way to finish that baton race.
Right? I mean, would not be kept from what she was doing. They say that she's the patron saint of stubborn ladies. So I'm going to take a look at the bodies over here, see if I can figure out forensics. Did they die from blade, which I'm assuming is most likely?
Okay.
And how are they still together?
Okay, so that would take a look at. That's also taking a look at the skeletons themselves, or you're wanting to see cause of death.
Basically, I want to forensics the skeleton without the skull.
Okay. Well, you can forensic first without the skull and see what's going on. So go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the one over here without the skull before I look at the one in the middle that has the extra growths and the blade and the glaven.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it seems like they're over there, and if I'm over here...
Yeah, so go ahead and make that.
49 out of 60.
All right, excellent. So, every one that you go through, obviously, if as far as you can tell without looking at the skulls, they died of decapitation. So all of these have a very similar cut. It's like right before where the skull ends too, along with I forget which vertebrae that is. So that's at the top, layering from them on the neck. So it's a very, very clean cut right now, which looks like it would almost be one motion, almost smooth. That has been going through here.
So what you're saying is that different strokes for different folks doesn't exactly apply.
You're lucky I'm not making you roll sanity on that. So, but it's
the same one.
Yeah. In any case, but you do notice
almost like an executioner's axe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
very consistent.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
But you do notice something that's going on that answers your question. As you're looking on the top of it's like the severed neck vertebrae, it answers one of your other questions, that why this would be sitting up almost intact itself. As you look down, there seems to be some sort of odd brownish porous structure that is somewhat petrified at this point, but looks like it's going straight down the neck itself. And as you trace that further, you can actually see what you weren't able to see in the photos, as this actually sits there in connecting parts of the rib cage, the arms, the legs, pelvis, everything, as it's just rigidly putting it into place.
Okay.
So this is what actually was holding it. What you're seeing is holding it in this sitting position.
So I'm going to take a test tube from one of the handy science kits. Take a little scraper thingy from one of the handy science kits. I don't know what the scraper thingy is called.
You're getting a sample, so that's fine.
And just, collect a tiny sample of the brown, cork it, and, label it for my records. And I'm just going to put that into the little sample kit.
Okay, so you do that. Now go ahead and roll a luck check on that.
Hi. 74.
All right, nobody knows you taking that sample, so everybody else was too busy.
So they haven't moved the bodies yet; they're still in their original position.
Yes, all the bodies are still in the original position. So as you can hear off to the side, I will say that you can hear this. That Dr. Darlington is kind of making a mention to one of the other postgraduate students that they think it doesn't seem like if they move those, that might be too flexible as well, and they still haven't identified the substance as of yet. So you can also talk to him as well once you want to, but but that's what at least you get from the initial look on this as well. So, all right. Speaking of that, Jude, what are you doing?
After the crypt, I'm going to get close to the sword if I can.
Okay. As you move up, you do see one of the other postgraduates like, excuse me, can I help you?
Yes, I was authorized to be down here by Father Callahan. We're here to examine the site and assist as needed.
Well, we have a lot of hands on here right now. What expertise are you bringing to the field here, sir?
Oh, historian. I'm trying to assess more details about who built this site, what the significance of this ritualistic space is. Trying to assess the situation, just like the rest of you.
So, let's.
Many hands make light work, right?
Yeah, but a lot of different minds make a research paper very messy. So, as you see that, but you're making enough case right now, it actually attracts Dr. Darlington. Hello. I would check your hand, but in that row, Doctor, that's like Horatio Darlington. So,
Doctor,
that's like, and you are.
Isaac Shue. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, so what's your field of expertise? Because they said that the father called you in.
I'm a historian. My colleague and I are here to assist in the research and the identification of just what this place is.
Oh,
And
so-
also to make sure that when we file the environmental action papers that we can be very clear about the fact that there are absolutely positively no endangered species that are going to be harmed down here. By the way, hi, I am Kelly Youngkin and I am a biologist, which since I am absolutely outside of your field, you don't have to worry about me publishing.
You with the EPA?
I believe I said my name was Kelly Youngkin, and I don't believe I gave you any credentials. So,
Well, you said you were here on a study. Just you said you were looking to make sure this isn't harming any, like any other life forms, correct? Or any endangered species.
that is correct.
Contractor, yeah.
We take safety very seriously.
Oh well, that's. Well, I did get radioed down that you would be sitting from here. So, are there any particular questions we can answer for you?
Well, we just wanted to take a look at the site, make sure that everything is okay and up to specs, and as I said, just look around. We're going to be out of your way. We're going to stay out of your hair. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Well, I do appreciate that, Sue. We've had a number of people also trying to get in here just out of pranks or anything else, and this is a rare archaeological site that we would love to be able to take a look at. So
Can't be too careful. Is this the only chamber in the crypt?
that's the only one that we found. Yes, so we haven't. That's like we're still looking over to see if they're for the ground penetrating radar to see if there's anything else. But we believe this is the only one that was made. So during this time, so you're close enough to the skulls if you want to make another biology roll to see, forensics roll to see if they've gone through there, and he allows you to go ahead and take a look at the sword, obviously, so you can make rolls to that.
That
Thank
is
you,
a
Doctor.
fail on the forensics.
Okay.
I would need a closer examination, and I can't exactly pick one up with Darlington right here.
So, well, other people are looking at it, but you're allowed to actually look at it and take a closer look at it with the tools. But if it fails, it fails. So,
Archaeology success.
all right. So,
29 under 50.
all right. So, looking at the blade itself, you actually see that what came off as it does have a bunch of it's like sinewy, spirally stretchings around, but the picture did not pick up that it actually had Latin scrawl on it as well. So, and do you have a language set in for your skill?
I have a 50 and a 30, but they aren't filled in.
Okay, if you want to say one of those is Latin, you can. So,
Sure.
That's how you read
It makes sense for a
That's
historian.
Okay, so. All right. As you're looking at that, the blade itself, now that you have it, definitely does have an odd look to it because the curved blade itself mainly comes off in the side of the prongs, and it doesn't look like it should stab, but maybe pull up something, which is a little bit more disturbing as you kind of thinking of how it goes.
Almost like a giant sword crowbar.
A little bit like that too. It's a little bit when you kind of think about it that way.
Savoir.
But as you're looking to the blade, the etchings are almost faded. It's completely faded, and it's hard to read. But what you can pull out says memory. That's like memory serves as the windows to our regrets, and it also has a. That's like it seems to be giving a name that then says patron saint of regrets.
Does this patron saint have a name?
So you can't see. That's part of the blade that has just been
Faded.
It seems to be faded out. So
Okay.
You can do a history check to know if there is a patron saint of that.
I could. Do the swirling patterns seem to have any significance? Or is it just decor?
it looks like it's decor right now from what you can see. A longer study of it might be able to pull from there once you're able to get out and research a little bit more. But right now, it just seeing from it. Although you are, you do have cameras that were and date. That's like cameras were cleared down here. So if you want to take some closer pictures from the area,
Yes, I would.
Okay. So
Is it a solid steel blade?
yeah, it looks like it actually doesn't look that really sophisticated too once you get down to it, because the sides of it obviously looks like at one point they were very, very sharp on one side, but obviously was dulled through what looks like multiple nicks off to the side.
Just over time, can I tell how old it is?
Let's see. Go ahead for that. Go ahead and make I would say an archaeology roll on that one. So.
Ot 1.
So, Ot 1, that's a critical success. Yeah, the funny thing is that this thing looks odd and weird, but you can actually tell that this was forged probably, it's like not all that terribly, it's not an ancient blade. This one was made in the maybe like late 1800s, early 1900s. So
again, about the same time as the
church itself. So this is, and when you look down to it, this honestly, it wasn't something of like a manufacturer's piece or even something that looks like it would be a display piece or something. This looks like it was pretty crudely hand forged itself. So even the etchings on it looked like somebody had just heated the blade and took a nail across it to write in this.
Wow.
So which is worth trying. And I'll say that once you're noticing something else, you look at the tips of the blade itself, and you notice something that's a little bit odd. As you were, you thought that might have just been rust itself, but as you look down, you actually see that some of that brownish petrified material is on the two tips of the prongs of the blade itself. So
this is probably what did in the our our round table here.
Yeah, so that was at least particularly of what it was, mainly going through. Mm-hmm. So, and as you're kind of looking at that, you're kind of just staring at it for a second. The pain in your neck and that headache gets a little bit stronger. Nothing else that's going through, but just a little bit off onto the side as well. So, and you suddenly feel really bad, just like something is really off, that you did something horrible. It's like awful. What's the last thing that you remember? It's like the last worst thing that you remember kind of doing with one of your bombs.
Samantha, my ex-girlfriend, is my ex for a reason, and it's my fault. We had a fight. Things hadn't been going well for a while, and I got low and went out looking for an excuse to end it, and I cheated on her.
Okay, so that was
one night stand, but that was all it took.
That was god awful, man. I can't believe I did that to her. And you know what? That's in the past. That should remain in the past. That's absolutely fine. Mark off that bond.
-1?
Mm-hmm. And realizing for a second, go ahead and make a sand roll. Because that was a long relationship.
Fail.
So you should feel worse about that. Why did it just go away? Lose 3. All right. But you do have that. You do see that on the edge, and it kind of shakes you. But that eventually, that pain in the intense headache and the neck pain kind of go away a little bit. So, but you've gotten the information from that. They're still kind of pulling up sites from here. You've gotten a closer look at this overall.
I pass it off as, wow, I was staring at this for way too long. I need to just move around. It's fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a look at the skeleton in the middle, specifically the growths on it.
Okay.
Do they look like that kind of odd bone cancer growth, or is it something entirely different?
Make a biology roll.
Looks fine.
Okay. Yep.
David failed the check.
All right. That's a big old hump of bone cancer too. That just is that as well. But this is also...
I'm going to take pictures of this bone cancer from every angle to prove my point.
With what?
There are provided cameras on here too. So, but it's also at the time too that when you look at it's like when you're looking at that and taking those pictures, you're getting a pretty big urge to like actually feel it out too. And you know what? Your hands are you're all protected at this point, so nothing that you actually do is going to say anything. But it just it just looks so odd.
Touch it.
Since I've got the gloves on.
Yeah, and God, it's just for some reason you think that pain in your neck, it's just...
What pain in my neck?
It's not. You just only felt it now. So, but you're feeling like this is like, for some reason, that touching this seems to be okay. So that might help it a little bit. You don't know why.
Well, as a scientist, I don't want to touch it. as a player, I know I have to touch it because otherwise we're not going to advance the storyline at all.
Oh, we're advancing the storyline.
Yeah.
But I mean, you might as well rub your face in it. I mean,
that's your choice, David.
It is a one shot. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're good, David. It's Delta Green.
You can choose it, but then there's a check you have to make. That's all I have to say.
Touch, lick.
All right. So you do feel that, and suddenly the room is a lot brighter. A lot brighter. You look around, and there are no skeletons in the room itself. So. Or at least the one you've seen. So there are a bunch of oil. That looks like oil lanterns, very basic ones that are set on hooks on the other end. And the only thing that you can actually hear is what appears to be some man laughing. So a male's voice laughing from behind you.
Glance back.
So you see some man completely naked. Who's standing, it's like off to the center of where you are because you were near the dais of itself, but just seems to be laughing hysterically, going, I didn't believe it, but the church freed me. They freed me from the sin. They freed me from the guilt. I only tried to do well. I tried to teach them respect, and that, that's spare the rod. It's like spare the rod, spoil the child, but just. Oh my God! I thought I was it's like doing more wrong than good, but this taught me well. So
is that when he gets decapitated?
So not so much. Yeah, it is about that time where his head goes flying off to the side, just completely from a familiar looking blade that goes off to the side. And go ahead and make your sand check.
This is fine.
Actually, this is fine. I rolled 53 out of 55.
53 out of 50. All right, so I will say that's just one. So because you're looking at going, this obviously can't be real. But that's when you see another figure coming out with a large hood. It looks like he has a priest outfit on underneath because you can see the collar. But as he does, you see him take the grinning. That's like still kind of moving decapitated head of the guy who just bit it. Takes what looks like the two prongs of the sword, digs it into the back. Of his skull, and produce it. And you hear a horrible wet sound, and produces what looks like a veiny brownish egg of some sort. So just almost or seedling that is just pulsating. And as he takes his hood off, he sits. You actually sit there with a pained expression as he puts it near to the back of his own head and just starts convulsing. And that's about the time you wake up. Make one more sand check.
Still good. 52 out of 52.
Okay. So all right. So
it is spot on.
So, all right, so you're going to only lose 2 off of that, but also you realize that is not your memory. That's something that is just laying horrible, horrible feelings on your side of seeing somebody murdered who was laughing and giddy about that. So, but you are pulled back from the side too, as another student says, please, sir, please don't touch. Don't touch any of the biological artifacts.
Just quietly let go.
Okay, so all right, so you saw that, and I
still with me.
So if you would not touch that, we think this is not harmful at all, but we honestly can't tell at this point. So can we show some decorum for the dead? So, no, if you wanted to, we're still. I wanted to let you know, at least on your side, sir. We're still looking to research some of the other old records. Father Callahan did tell me that there were records up in the church itself. So once you're done down here, if you want to be able to go up, go up and see. See those. That might give you a little more insight. We've been more focused down here.
Man after my own mind.
All right, so. that kind of gets you what you need to do. So it's been about 3 or 4 hours total of looking through everything in the chase. So
that was actually my next thought, was to go up and check the parish records, specifically who was involved, who was running the construction and establishment of this church.
Okay, so all right, you can go ahead and do that. But you will all you can all go back upstairs, get your phones, and reconvene for a second. So
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Can I ask one question on the way out?
yes.
Can I just look at everybody else? Does anybody else appear to have stiff necks or is moving stiffly?
Go ahead and make an awareness check.
All right. 9. Under 20.
Yeah. All right. So, you can see about some people looking around there. There are other people rubbing their necks, but it's not so. You're not sure if that's just you're taking a hard, long night, or there's actually a problem too. So there's nothing that you can really see about that, and you're having to kind of guide Kelly out just a little bit as you're walking up. So
that's fair.
All right.
So yeah, I'll ask a generic question, basically sort of in code, instead of 1 to 5 stars. How we're like, how are you fine, or are you should I come in?
2.
2. Yeah.
2. Okay.
1.5.
All right. I'm not coming in with a gun, but I'll come in. I'll drive up. So I'll be your Uber driver.
Just out for the day. All right. So
That's your call sign.
Yeah, I'm your Uber driver here for your pickup. So I'll come driving in, ready to pick you up. I have news as well, and I won't specify yet. So
Yeah. No, we should definitely powwow.
We need to talk.
Oh yeah, I will ask. Can you get a list of who's working there?
Can I?
Yes, I will say that's something else that you're able to, since that's like they're not hiding and they know that you might be able to need to share information, especially if there's a larger discovery. So, yep, that's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, is Ashley Connor on that list?
Yes, her name is on that list, but you see that she was recently dismissed due to health reasons for the week. That it was actually about 2 weeks ago when they first really started all this, but she was dismissed because she was complaining of consistent migraines and respiratory issues.
2 weeks ago. So the project started 2 weeks ago. The dig, whatever. And she lasted 1 week. She was there at the beginning and quit a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she was...
Okay.
No, so that's kind of interesting that she's kind of skulking around.
Oh, no, we're going to black bag her. I want a black bagger. Kind of like, but actually, I will kick that. While I'm waiting for them, I will kick that photo ID picture to Kellen through whatever encrypted message means I have.
Okay.
Be like, this is a person of interest. Possible vector.
Okay. Looks down. It's like confirm and contain. So confirm and contain. Bring back. It's like offsite. Let me know. Offsite will be given to you if absolutely necessary.
All right. If you want me to confirm and contain, like, offsite will definitely be necessary. Can you do background research on her first?
So takes a minute to go there. Confirm, though. That's why you are here.
Okay. I'll confirm with my colleagues, but I'm asking Kellen since he's the one with the Fed connections,
and that's the answer that he actually gives you.
Okay.
So it's very curt and like, why are you doing this? So
all right, well, he wants vectors. That's maybe a vector, but anyways. So I'm just waiting for them.
Okay, so but yeah, you by chance you were able to go ahead and get up as much as you need to, so it doesn't really affect anything. Are you talking to the father before you go back, or are you?
I'm not.
Okay, so you're just going straight to the car. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, you see Kelly. Let's wander down. Seems like she's had a bit of a rough go, depending on what's going on. So we're going to talk to the father, or we're just going to go and call him and go wait till later.
Give Clug a sit rep, and I'm going to check on some records.
Okay.
Have a few more words with the father. Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
All right. So, but yeah, he's in the middle of just writing down the next sermon. So,
Right.
yes, Mr. Shu, correct? So,
Yes.
all right,
Father.
what can I help you with?
I was hoping to look into some of the parish history, see if try to compare the history of the church to the history of the local area.
Oh, so trying to see what other connections there might be here. So I assure you, honestly, I've been trying to look through that, but in all honesty, we haven't come up with anything else, too. I can give you the...
And it's probably nothing, but if you eliminate the impossible, then whatever's left is the truth.
I guess so in this case, but it's a matter of impropriety is the big issue. So I'm sure you understand. So you can tell he's hesitant about it. So I would say persuade, or if you have another, it's like if you want to, I will. If you have a convincing argument, I'll consider charisma. So.
My persuade's not bad.
Okay, so just give me your best argument. We'll see. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to appeal to. I want to get this research done and out of the way too. That way we can close that book and keep it closed.
Okay.
I want to focus on the facts, and if there are any rumors to the effect of some ancient conspiracy or the church was built on an Indian burial ground or something that is going to make waves, I want to close that.
Okay, so I'll allow you plus 10% on that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Persuade plus 10?
Yes.
19.
19? Excellent. So, okay. So, yes. I see that you are asked, that's like being more appropriate about this,
Yeah.
so I don't think there's any concern of it. He goes back and actually gives you 2 thick tomes that were actually say the history of that's like history of the Our Lady of Redemption. Resurrection. Thank you. So resurrection.
No
Sorry.
worries. I'm taking notes.
It's like I should know how to play this game.
Yeah.
So Our Lady of Resurrection. There's nothing again horrible in this case, but it's the turn that. Our particular church had a reputation as being ones who could make larger claims in turn for salvation sometimes, and we wanted to step away from that because we wanted to comfort everybody and not the ones who felt that they could. It's like pay their way in
indulgences
for the
yes.
plenary indulgences.
No.
Yes, so. That's that.
I completely agree.
We found later on that the person who founded was one of the founding priests of this indulged in that particular practice and that's like was allowing cleansing, and it seemed to ruffle some feathers socially. So something we don't talk about it, and he wasn't forgotten, but that part of the history is put off. So when looking into this, if you could keep
I will take that into account.
I appreciate that. So
Absolutely.
He gives you 2 historical documents going back from the church's founding, so just very large diocese tomes. So, and then, but just, please have these returned since that we consider those a Vatican loan. So, but yeah, you have access to those to research overnight if you need to. So
Okay,
you'll
perfect.
get a chance to take that back with you.
I'll get these to you tomorrow soonest.
Alrighty then. So you have all that. Reconvene. So,
All right. So,
Claude,
yes.
when a person is decapitated, how long does the head keep living?
I actually don't have personal experience with that, but I do have some knowledge. Not very long. Seconds.
Long enough to keep laughing for.
No, they
say,
can't laugh.
2
Their
minutes?
head's longer connected with their lungs. There's no way for them to get air.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's what all of the textbooks said, but I needed to make sure.
Yeah. Also, it depends on where they might have cut the voice box itself, depending on where they're decapitated.
Well, I'm not sure if this was a nice, clean. Well,
I mean, wait. Back up. So you had evidence of that, or there's a written account that person was probably suffering hysteria, or what?
Well, there's definitely evidence. I mean, looking at all of the bodies downstairs, and I did collect a sample of the spore from the inside, so we know how they actually stayed together. But I think I know a little bit more too, for other reasons.
Okay.
Actually, do we have access to the case file, the big main file? Because I'm going to go to the blurry picture of the skeleton in the middle.
Oh, you have all the pictures that were already taken. Yes, you have access to that.
Yeah.
So.
I want to take a look at the number of growths on the back. Are there 30 growths on the back of the neck?
From what you can say, go ahead. Actually, there are not 30 on there, but because of what you were looking on off of it, and I will say, go ahead and make another biology roll at a plus 20.
Damn. So that's an 80 in biology and a roll of 84.
84, okay.
Was that with the plus 20 bonus?
Yeah, that is with the plus 20.
That's with the plus 20 bonus, so that's close enough. It's nothing else that you don't really see. It's you looking at it and you think, no, there honestly can't be 30 on that. That just kind of goes through. But then you kind of realize, from what you had seen, maybe it's like ones are bearing in it on itself, but that's not just one,
like a
one around. But yes, so kind of it's spreading out like a coral instead, that they integrate somehow. That these things weren't just mass solids like you saw pulling out of that guy's head.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I see how this whole thing comes together.
The minute you say that, are you driving?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, all of you make a sand check.
All right. Make it.
All right.
Good.
Odd 9.
9, damn. So, all right. So, in this case, you are all racked with horrible pain in the back of your necks as you immediately see the same exact vision that he had. That's like, as he was describing it, word for word, like you were sitting in front of it through his particular vision. And luckily enough, since you stayed that sand roll, it's only going to cost you 1 each one. You don't have to take one, David, since you are experiencing offhand. But Ross, you get a chance to make a drive check to make sure you don't crash.
Okay, yeah, no, this is fine. I make it 13.
All right, so you come skidding to a stop as you're sitting in front of the stop sign.
Please rate and review me on Uber.
They're beeping behind you, but yeah.
Basically, I pull over into parking as soon as possible to make sure that nothing else is going to happen, that we don't have any other aftershocks. And, I have a lead on a vector. There is a woman who Ashley Connor, who, now that I see the work list, is someone who's working there, who quit last week for medical reasons when she was walking around the church behaving oddly, and she spotted me from a quarter mile away and ran when I approached. But she dropped her ID card. So we should go pay her a visit immediately because this is escalating rapidly.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
We'll probably need to take the sword too, because I saw a little bit of that brown residue that you pulled, just a little bit of it. I almost mistook it for rust on the sword blade.
Well, of course it's on the sword blade because it was used to extract the nugget from inside the skull, and then the bladesman put the nougat on the back of its neck, and that's how the bladesman has all of the growths, because those were pulled out of the skulls. So, of course, it went through the entire skeletal system. I'm thinking that there was some kind of... Okay, so follow me on this. Here's what I think. Here's what I know. I know that the growths on the back of the neck came from the inside of the skulls. The hooky bits on the end of that sword were to pull the growths out of the skull. The choppy bit of the sword was to cut the skull off. So whoever it was would march these people down into the thing, usually of their own volition. They would feel like they were getting off for all of their sins. Then they would get beheaded, and then he would take he or she, whoever the bladesman was, would pull the things out of the skull, put it on the back of their neck, and apparently take on the weight of their sins. So I'm thinking it started with some kind of crazy communion.
And whatever it is, all of it started, everything about that crypt, including the sword, the people, started at the same time. Because from what I can gather, the crypt and the sword were both made around the same time. Very late 1800s, very early 1900s. So this church, I'm thinking this church was built to hide whatever was going on here.
Right. And because of all of the decapitations, it's not exactly like that's not a common theme within Catholicism. Usually that leads to martyrdom. So somebody was either convincing 30 people to become martyrs, or this is not proper Catholicism. I'm leaning towards the latter.
Well, we'll find out, because I've got some texts for us to go through.
Or some kind of deviation.
Or they were dealing with some vector, some source of contamination the only way they knew how to. Which for Catholics would be martyrdom. Like, we're infected with something weird, let's seal ourselves up in here, and now it can't get out again until someone dug it out.
I mean, I had to twist the good father's arm a little bit, but he confided in me that around the time this church was founded, there was a priest who was selling indulgences, literally selling tickets to heaven. So maybe he or somebody else got the bright idea that those who couldn't pay with money could pay with something else.
Give a little bit ahead for the road.
Boo! That voice just comes out of the sky.
Fuck you, Scott.
Also, we're all contaminated now. So we need to find a cure for this. Because I ain't spreading this to the rest of the... We're not letting this spread to the rest of the planet.
Right.
So...
Well, if we're contaminated this quick, that also means that Darlington and the entire crew is probably infected. Because we were wearing clean suits down there.
I haven't even been to the site.
I had these neck pains before.
Yeah, I assume all. Oh, yeah. By the way, as soon as I had that hallucination, I explained, like, did you have the same thing happen to you? So, like,
yeah, and I noticed that from a bunch of the people down there. Could be a coincidence, but probably not.
So I say we go talk to Ashley Connor, and find out what she knows.
So, are we going to talk to her, or are we going to talk to her?
First, go nice, and then go, if she turns out to be a vector, go hard.
Okay.
But if she knows something about it, maybe she's trying to get rid of it too. And she could be helpful. Because I don't want to be contaminated anymore. So let's, but make sure she can't escape. So look up her address.
Okay.
What is it?
Looking that information up, she's listed within the dorm, so it's actually an honors house.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in honors house dorms that is set off to the side for grad students. So
okay, so looking really can't exactly abduct her there. Going to be a lot of fucking witnesses and security cameras.
Yeah, there are on that too, but you do have contact information as well, so you might be able to figure out another way to get a hold of. That's like get a hold of her to pull her out in public, maybe. So that's another one. You do know technically the route she was taking. She might be off of it, but that's like if you watch it closely enough, she could return to it at some point if you want to take the patient route.
We let's go near the house, Honor's house. Well, okay. Let's look at the map. Look at the Honor's house compared to what direction I know she was going when I lost her.
Okay.
Is it that towards that Honor's house or somewhere or not?
Let's see. Yes, it is actually towards the Honor's house. So it looks like it once she rounded a corner, it would be a bit out, but she probably would round her back towards the campus.
Okay. Let's just go to the Honor's house, stake it out. Isaac, what is her major?
Major is anthropology.
Why don't
I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't I call her up and ask if she is willing to meet regarding her application that was filed on her behalf into the 99% doctoral sorority, Eta Beta Pi, which she is clearly qualified for, and a good word was put in for her last week from a Mr. Darlington, or Professor Darlington.
Well, let's keep it a little simpler. Like, you're a historian, right, Isaac?
Yes.
The same idea, but like, she's an anthropologist, you're a historian, so like, you could...
Let's collaborate.
Yeah, well, like, you quit, but I have questions about your work on the project. Could you tell me more about the project? Since I'm picking up where you left off. How about that?
Okay. If that doesn't work, then we trick her.
Well, let's see how she reacts.
Well, if the first volley doesn't work, she's going to be much more defensive in the future.
Okay.
Well, also out of character, doesn't he have a better persuade than you?
Actually, he does.
Okay.
40.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's probably good. So, all right.
Not to metagame too much. Let the person...
I don't really think that's metagaming. That's really kind of putting your foot best.
Although my highest skill is ride at 70 somehow.
Can I say
You
that?
like fucking horses. I mean, not that you just like horses. I'm so sorry. You like...
Why is that?
I'm an enthusiastic
It's a
equestrian.
randomly generated pregen. Like, it's random.
I think it's funny. I'm cool with
Okay.
it.
So, if you want to switch that with another skill,
I don't care. It's fun.
Okay. I'll see if I can provide.
If we stumble across a horse somewhere, I am
now
on
you
that.
have to put
I'm
horses
on that
in
nag.
Operate heavy
Don't have to
machinery.
do anything, Ross.
I mean, it's all
All right.
law.
All right. So, are you calling her now, or are you?
Yeah, calling her while we're
Yeah.
watching the house. If
Okay.
if she's talking on the phone and she's walking in, like, we got her, and we can just roll up on her.
All right.
Or like watch her as she comes out to meet, like arrange a meeting at a nearby coffee house, like the one across the street from or as close to the honors house.
house.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So, go ahead and make your call.
Make the call.
So, hello.
Hi, Ashley. Is this Ashley Connor?
This is.
Hi, my name is Isaac Shu. I'm one of the graduate assistants who is working on the excavation
Click.
project.
All right.
And there it is.
Okay.
Try to call back.
Yeah.
So, go straight to voicemail.
Okay.
Go just.
Hi, Ashley. We must have had a bad connection. I've got information on this excavation. That I understand you were involved in. I spoke to some of your colleagues, but I didn't see you there. There's some holes in the notes, and I'm trying to piece together this.
As you keep saying that, so you're just trying to leave a message. I will say both of you can go ahead and give me a notice check. Oh, sorry, an alertness check.
Nope.
Very noble.
Okay, so she's going to get a heads up that you only at the end of the message you see her rounding the corner. So this will be another chase. So
Okay, I'm going to be on foot this time.
all right, you're going to be on foot. All right, so she basically gets ahead. So you're going to have to get at least 2 successes to be able to get to her before she learns the campus. So is anybody else going to chase after her? Or?
So if you're available, give me a call back. Let me know where we can meet.
Okay.
Have a great day. Click. Damn it, I hate this part.
Make my first one.
Okay,
So
so
what is the
she's
roll?
running off of that too.
Athletics. I would
Athletics.
imagine.
There it is.
All right, so I'll say that you guys don't have to do it. If Ross can do that, since and then you can catch up to it. So she's going to. So you basically catch up. So she's going to make one more opposed
Since
to
he's-
yours. So,
Okay. I got
Since he's the
25.
tough guy, although I'm
25?
sturdy.
Okay.
So highest is I
So
got.
for your second one you made, or
Oh no, that was the first.
yeah,
one.
that first one. That's just a catch up. So let's see. She's going to make one opposed. She fails that.
So do I. So
All right, so she's on foot right now. She's obviously tiring out. I will allow you to make one alertness check.
okay.
So make it a plus 20.
Yeah, make up.
All right, so you turn the corner, and you could have sworn you see her stop dead.
Mm-hmm.
As people are walking around her, they're just kind of ignoring her, and it's part of the college campus. But you're sitting there, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking out forward. You see that, it's like that red-eyed woman from your dream standing right in the middle of the road, staring directly at both of you.
Okay.
And she's just sitting there frozen in place as this woman is walking towards both of you at a slow pace.
Okay, like you say, she's on the road. Is this like a road that cars drive on, or is this
It's a sidewalk? Sorry,
Oh,
yeah,
sidewalk.
It's a sidewk, but it's like a collegiate sidewalk.
Yeah,
but
okay.
nobody else is seeing this.
Okay, they're ignoring her.
Well, yeah, they're ignoring that except for Ashley above. So make a sand check because
No, that's fair. No, I make that. No, I fail that by 1.
Mail that by 1. Okay,
It's
so
63, and I have 62.
come on. All right, lose 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there, but she starts backing up for it. Looks at you, sees her watching behind. Do you see it?
Yes.
You need to fucking get away from me. You need to get away from me. If we're around each other, it sees us, it gets stronger. Just God damn it, you're not listening. Start pushing you. Move! Fucking move!
Okay. If you know, yeah, I'm here to kill it. How do I kill it?
She seems to be grabbing her head. Can't do anything like this. Just feel bad. You need to feel bad. You need to feel really bad.
Okay. I start thinking about the people I saw dying overseas.
All right, so because you're kind of frozen in there, but the minute you do, you kind of feel a little bit more like you're holding on to something that's keeping you alive. You're miserable, but it's keeping you alive.
No.
So go ahead and that's
Will
like
this be willpower or more sand?
that's going to be a willpower roll. So
Okay. Or a sand roll? I mean?
no, this is a willpower. So yeah.
Okay. Well, my willpower is 13, so it'd be like.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and make a sand
It
roll.
could be a power check.
Oh, yeah. That's a power check. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
So go make a power check.
All right. I make that.
All right. Yeah, you can move. Holding on to that's going through it.
Yeah.
Looking through. So yeah, you managed to move forward right now.
Okay.
You two see. It's like you see Clug and Ashley around the corner and just jump into the car.
Okay.
And she's just clutching your head almost in tears.
Oh, so she got in the car with us?
Yes. So,
Okay.
One of you drive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll drive.
All right.
So, but as you're pulling around, both of you go ahead and make an
Alertness.
Unless you're better
check,
at driving
so-
than me.
I am not.
Okay.
I see nothing. I'm fine.
Alertness.
God damn it.
Crit fail.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
22 over 20.
You drive off not knowing what the hell is the problem.
Yeah, that was a good one to fail.
Right. So, all right. Begs the question: where are you taking her?
I suppose Kellen
The
didn't give
hotel's
us the
too public?
offsite. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking, why don't we go to a Denny's?
No,
too
we're public. I call Kellen. We need the offsite now.
So, message back. Do you have the target?
Yeah, we need the offsite now. Yes.
So, all right. Brings it up.
Yeah.
All right.
For an agent, his OPSEC is awful.
Well, we're using burn phones. I assume we have.
That's the burner phone. So he says, "All right, take it over to directs you over to a self storage facility." So that's like this is locked right now. These are the key. That's like key codes for it.
Okay.
I will be en route.
All right, so we'll drive in and.
You're going from there. So. But as you're kind of sitting there, it's like sitting there. You do notice that she's kind of, as she is talking, she's holding her neck in right now, the back of her neck, and it just seems to be again a silent sobbing is what she is doing.
You two? How long has this been going on?
Since the first week I've had, so
Did it start as soon as the crypt was opened?
No, just when we started looking at that skeleton, started trying to see what it was. I think it's a spore. I don't know.
I don't think it's a spore because I started having the neck pains before we even got to the church.
So,
I had them the morning after we got here.
And that was just at the hotel itself.
How?
If it's airborne, the whole town would be infected by now.
I don't know how it would be. So they closed off. It's a clean room. Nobody else is. If you have a mask on, you shouldn't be breathing that shit in. So the only time I was with it was that that guy that it's like came in with the knowledge. So handed me the book about the priest. So the one that's there.
Who? Father Callahan?
Was his name Kellen?
So her eyes kind of get by for a second.
Yeah.
I think. So, I know. It's hard to... I'm trying to remember, but the only way I can do it is... That's like... That losing myself is just to think of the worst shit that I've done. So, just to hold on to it. So, because this thing tries to take... The thing tries to take everything away that you did and make it seem like you didn't do. It just feels like it's turning you into a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
Just so, but yeah, we're trying to learn stuff from the church right now. I looked into that damn book.
Do we have any other independent means of contacting Delta Green? Not through Kellen. Because I remember, don't I remember none of us had worked with Kellen before?
You're right. None of us had met Kellen before.
So yes, you do have another. It's like you do have another contact for. I would say your personal one, but that's probably for like that's like a cell emergency burn.
This is it. Like, I want verification that Agent Kellen. Do I even know what he's an agent of?
So. No, you don't. You were just given this information. He did not really give you much of anything.
I'm concerned that Agent Kellen may be a vector for a source of contamination. I don't know. We're in Norfolk, Virginia on a job, and I don't know what's going on. And I don't know if Kellen's on our side or not. So that's the gist of the message I am sending to ACEL then.
Okay. So, you don't get anything back recently, but it might take a bit. Cause
I understand it. Burner phones and security protocols.
Looking through it as well. So, all right. But as you're going through, she's kind of sitting off to the side and just at least generally sobbing, and collecting
I'm going to check the back of her neck while she's crying because I'm sitting behind her.
All right. Are you touching her?
No, I'm not touching her directly. I'm not touching you. I just want to look at your neck, darling. With this pencil, I'm moving your hair. I'm not touching you with my hand.
Yep. So, moving around. Oh, yeah, there is a pretty prominent, it's like probably 10 to 20 centimeter lump on the back of her neck. It's very brownish in color and veiny and pulsing. So... And yeah, it's her hair is pretty much covering up that, but it does not look comfortable at all.
Well, for what it's worth, actually, we are trying to figure this out.
Do either of the gentlemen who were in the car with me have that same growth?
So you're looking. If you're
I'm driving, so you could check me.
Yeah, looking at that, you look on you. That's actually a little bit further. It looks more dime shaped. That's like dime sized. That's not as. That's like as big on there, and the same goes for Klug.
All right.
So
hands back of my own neck, feel the same spot where theirs are.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
All right. So gentlemen and lady, I've got
that should be a sand check if you're telling.
Yep, that is true. So thank you. I'm letting you go for
this. I'm not telling them. I said, gentlemen and lady, I have bad news, and I will wait till the car is stopped.
Okay, well, I mean, eventually we'll stop, so we'll know.
Yeah.
I failed my check.
All right, go ahead.
I succeed.
All right, so knowing that an alien vector, so if you... 3 for each of you who made it.
Oh, for 3 for making it?
For making it.
All right, yeah, no, that's fair.
You won. God damn. I was in Afghanistan.
That was a 1 for listeners at home.
Yeah, that was a 1 on a D8. So Ross is just immediately like, I was in Afghanistan, fucking alien parasite. So
I'll just cut it off with my K-bar, like Rambo.
Yeah. God, I'm glad Jason was not here to hear that. Anyway,
Jason's going to critique. Listen to this. He's going to critique my marining.
I know.
It's going to be
It's
so
gonna be
fun.
glorious.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So,
than
aren't
mine.
you going to cauterize the wound by throwing
I am
some
not
gunpowder
actually
on
doing
it and
that.
then lighting it on fire?
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, she manages to calm herself around when they stop saying, I'm trying to remember this, but memory is something that goes to this thing. If you have it, it shares it, but it attracts it. It attracts that thing that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you know who or what it is?
It looks like a woman. I saw her in my nightmares last night.
it's
With bloody eyes.
It's a harbinger of something. So the more people have this thing, the more that they lose of themselves, the more that they can share. The better. And whenever it catches up to you, something's going to happen. Something's going to come. I don't know what.
Did you
So
have the
can
same...
we take the thing off the back of your neck? Will that help? Or will that...
I don't know.
It's kind of a surgery thing.
I don't know.
That does seem like a surgery thing, and I'm not that kind of
Yeah.
scientist.
I mean, there is a separate skill for surgery, so yeah.
I don't know. Only thing I know is that when you actually decide to feel what you feel bad, feel the guilt, accept it, it kind of backs it off. It's like it's repulsed. It doesn't do it forever, but God, it's like a nail on a goddamn brain.
There's got to be a way to kill it.
Did you have a vision of an executioner taking off another person's head?
No.
No.
I didn't see that. So, but
okay, so
the
that
priest,
has to be from touching the original one.
the priest, and she kind of reaches into her jacket, and you see her pull out a pretty moth-eaten journal. So it looks pretty. It's like a pretty old beige is yellow, but this is. We found this when we went through Father Callahan's. It's like records. I was reading through it, and I didn't go back afterwards from it, but so that's that tells you what's going on. So and at that point she passes out. So
Okay.
just
read the book. By the way, I would at least have. I didn't say I was. I mean, I do have my go bag with me, right?
oh
So,
yeah. I'm not going to.
All right, so that would have at least one rifle and a couple of handguns. So, do any of you know how to use a gun?
Yeah.
I've been to the range.
Okay. Here's a handgun, each of you. I'll take the rifle. Right now, there's only one commonality that she pointed out. Kellen. We started having symptoms after we had that meeting with him. We don't know, even if we had the coffee or didn't have the coffee, he might have been fucking breathing it on us. And
He probably was. He was coughing the entire time he was in that room.
And he was at the church too, so maybe he's setting himself up as the new executioner.
The new centerpiece.
The new centerpiece.
It's also possible that there's something with Callahan, because I think we need to check a couple of necks here.
Well, Kellen's on his way to the storage place where we're going to. So have we gotten there yet?
No, not yet. Unless you wanted to be there, because are you going to go straight there, or are you?
Oh yeah, because Kellen actually. Thing is, Kellen said he's going to be there, so we need to go there because we need to confront him.
Okay, well, I'm going to crack open these books because I want to figure out what this ritual is and what this is all leading up towards. So we need to know what we're fighting before we can kill it.
Okay.
So basically, once I get there to the storage thing, if Kellen doesn't immediately, basically I'm going to try and figure out a way to, get the drop on Kellen so, I can be pointing a gun at his back so that he will have to do what I say or I put a bullet in him. Not necessarily just shoot him, but I want to him, it's not a fair fight. I just want to get the drop on him. So, military science to figure out a way to get the drop on him.
Absolutely. So go ahead and make that roll. And I'll say that you guys are probably driving around until you figure this out. So you can go ahead and make your rolls on both of the. It's to look over both the journal and the church records.
Okay. And while I'm going through this, can I just make a history roll to know if this black-haired, bloody-eyed woman, does she figure into anything resembling Catholic
Oh,
Or-
Catholic dogma. No, I'm going to say that's that would be more of an occult situation. So,
Okay.
but I'm going to let you go ahead and make your history roll first on this or research to see what you can get. So,
Okay, research.
no, sorry, not research, but the history.
History, yeah.
That's fine.
History. Good. 12 under 60.
Oh, excellent. So good. All right. So as you're studying through that, it's more of just a general skim, but you actually see that the journal itself is also written in Latin, so lucky you. But you find that this is actually from one of the founding, priests. There were about 3 who really set up this particular parish. But it was under the name of Father Harold Rickman. So... he was one of the younger priests who seemed to be very connected into the town. But in the church doctrine, he was more popular for his general sermons about forgiveness for all and being able to come to the light as long as you're willing to confess the entirety of your sins and let that the Lord lift that weight off of your shoulders in particular. And they talked about the successes, and there's some clippings in there from people going through and saying that how their spirits are raised through this and how they feel ultimately cleansed of everything. And as you look through that, you actually find that he, in his own journals, it's talking about just general... his general sermons is not really working until he ended up finding what appeared to be just a fungal root or something in the woods that he mistook when he was pulling other ones and managed to and left it out. But he started to feel that weight lifting on, and more importantly, when he gave confession to others, they seemed to be lifted as well. But he also didn't end there. He could actually see their guilt. He could see into what they were feeling and almost pull that out from him. But as he kept doing that, he kept seeing the signs of this herald, this woman who was consistently crying tears of blood that would come closer and closer to him until he looked into her eyes one time and found that but through that eyes was a gateway to some eternal madness that he could not comprehend. So instead of and he realized that it babbles on in there, but at the end of it, he basically says it needs the sins of everybody. So instead of allowing it to be attracted to all of us, I will take it all on myself. And that's and end it here. And you see sketches for the sword in the back of this journal.
Okay, yeah.
I don't suppose there's photos in the church documents that we have that show what Rickman looked like.
I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, that's actually there. They're very old photos itself too, but it's nothing you would actually. I'll say that's a freebie right now. You've seen photos right now. He looks nothing like Kellen.
Okay.
So
Okay, but
fine.
does he look like the executioner from our vision?
Well,
he does. Well, yeah, he does look like the executioner from your vision. So that's fine. So
okay. What point of view was that vision from? So if it wasn't from the executioner himself, was it just one of the other people waiting to be executed?
You were watching the executioner take the guys' heads off.
Mm-hmm.
The decapitated person's head was still laughing.
The decapitated person's head was still laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So who's through whose eyes were we watching that, or is that just some kind of weird spatial thing that we're just seeing a moment in time? That's a question that's above my pay grade. I'm just a staff sergeant. What the fuck do I know?
Okay.
I want to set up an ambush, and I got a 24. So
That is what you know.
Yeah.
All right. So you absolutely have an ambush set up. So I will say let's.
The basic idea is that I know how he has to drive in because it's a self-storage place.
Yeah.
It's the same way I had to drive in. I want to set it up so I have the car, I have the storage space, I can position our car however I want. I want it to position so that, and I also have the layout of the storage place in mind. So I want to lay it out so that whenever he drives in, I can get behind him so that he has to, I'm behind him with a gun.
Okay.
I'm just waiting around the corner, and I don't want to. I'm not even like peeking my head around. I can just hear the car come in, and then I walk out.
Okay, yeah. So the way it's mostly set up, it's a very small town. It's like it's an offside of mom and pop one, so they only have like 2 really big rows of things going off of a fenced on area. So but
it's just like basic the idea is like he sees the storage space is open, and like these guys are milling about, but he can't see all of us because we're crowded in there. The storage space is only open a little bit, so he'll just assume we're all in there, and I'm outside waiting around the corner, and I just walk in behind him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that as well, So I'm going to say that is you've been able to set that up immediately, so that's no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
So where are you positioning Ashley? So are you...
Ashley, she'll be in the green box with everybody else. They're the bait. They're basically like, see, look, you can see that there are people moving about in this storage space, with the door cracked. Yeah. But you can't see everybody, but so you can't see who's in there, but you see there's multiple people in there. So is it, by the way, is the storage space like a... Like I'm picturing like a rolling door, one that you have to roll up, and it's but it's outside.
Yes, it's an outdoor storage facility.
Like we have it to where it's at foot high. And is there a light in there?
Yes, there is. So,
okay. Is there anything weird in the storage space, or is it just boxes and shit?
This one is just a box right now because you can see that when it's called a green box, this is more just file storage than anything else.
So yeah, there's no like rocket launchers or mummies.
Although I will allow you everybody
there's
else.
There's a fucking bird on a cage. I'm just running.
Yep. Actually, I will allow everybody else in here to make one either alertness or bureaucracy test as you look through this.
Bureaucracy.
Alertness. I fail.
51 out of 60.
Okay.
24 under 30.
All right. So, all right. You guys succeeded on that. Yeah, I'm gonna say you've been setting up the ambush, so you're more in sit rep. You're in sit rep at this point. But as you're going through, you see that a lot of these files are really old and compared to the time frame too. Like going back in between 1979 to about 1991. So, and it seems just to be general action reports for things, but you do notice that all of these are prefaced by a agent that's like Frank Kellen. So, and
1971?
1979.
79 to 91.
91.
Okay.
So, this is for all of this area right here, and these are DG reports, but that's around the time when it shouldn't have been around.
Well, I mean, would we even know that?
So I will say that it's just odd because you don't remember organizations right now. You probably would. That's like know that possibly, but if you guys want to share that,
I just know whatever they tell me.
Yeah,
like.
so
I'm sharing that because
I will.
Yeah.
Well, we can certainly ask him when he gets here, but I'm basically waiting for him.
Well, and I won't say that's an intelligence test on you since you're old enough military, but you've heard some of the older agents talk about the cowboy era that's not to be talked about.
I've heard rumors, yeah.
Yeah, if he's one of those guys, it's maybe bad news because they're kind of loose cannons if they still exist. So,
okay. Well, all the more reason to get a gun pointed at his back. So
exactly. So, all right.
So basically, I'm going to be out of sight. So I want to be in a position where I don't even have to make a stealth check. I just want to be able to hear. So I hear the car come in, I hear the engine turn off, and that's when I'm going to come out with a gun.
Okay. So you'll go ahead and
the gun will be basically, I'm holding it pointed down, but it's clearly there. And if he does anything, I'll whip it up and shoot him.
Okay. So
yeah.
All right. So it takes a
little. So we did recognize that this is from the that there is a pre-Delta Green era, and that Keller's probably from it? From what you know. So,
that kind of area from where you're familiar with.
So I'll shoot Klug a quick text, caution, Kellen's a cowboy.
Okay. So, that's where you kind of shared about. So, all right. But it takes about 15 minutes, but you see kind of a grayish Cadillac pull through. So, stop on there. He's looking through.
So I hear the car stop and then I come out.
Yeah. So all right, good. He pulls out. So looks in, sees the gun. Are you pointing it directly at him or behind?
No,
him?
It's just by my I'm holding it pointed down, but it's by my
So to get in there.
Yeah. So it's just if he does anything, I can just whip it up in a second.
So Sergeant Glug.
Yeah, let's have a talk. Yeah, just be slow, turn around, and go in the storage space. And do you have any? Are you alone? Do you have any weapons on you?
I'm part of what we're working with. Why do you ask? Is the vector inside like we talked about?
We're gonna have a conversation, but so do you? Yes or no? Do you have a weapon on you?
So I do.
Where is it?
So glove box as usual.
Okay. Well, it'll stay there. So go ahead and open the door and go in.
So any reason why we're being this professional? So
let's go inside.
So he capitulates, so he opens the door just to show you.
Okay. So we're all going to get in there. You're going to go over there in the corner, and you're going to turn around with your face pointing to the wall, and you're going to put your hands behind your head, and we'll just have a talk. And if
So how long is Kellen's hair?
Not very long, but he is wearing a very high-necked coat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Callan, take off your coat.
You're not denying the old man a coat, are you?
Yes.
Yes.
And so, looking around, I should do that too. As he walks in, you.
I'm gonna as soon as he
Ashley-
gets in there,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna motion for you to close the door, and then I'm just gonna raise the gun and keep it trained on the back of his head.
Done.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, he's cooperating except for taking off the coat, but he looks at Ashley, who immediately recoils as he's going in there.
I'll close the door and I will stay near.
Yeah, so we're all in a nice
mechanism.
storage space.
So-
it's all nice and cozy.
Yes. So, Ashley, why did we run? So she's sitting there going, she can't even get words right now, but she's clutching her head again. So, you boys might not understand the opportunity that we have here.
And what is that opportunity, Kellen?
That's like what we've discovered here, or what's like is an ability to literally see into others' minds. I'm already certain you've seen it already.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's a hard no for me. It's a hard pass.
Why would that be? This is intelligence gathering 101. I don't think I told you about the fact that I did have a partner on this little mission beforehand, mainly watching after this dusty old records. But when we looked into this, we both got it. Thing is, he couldn't take it, but I got to see all those ops. Imagine if we were to give this to somebody else who could actually work it correctly.
You've worked this job for this long. You know that there are side effects, right?
Life is a side effect, son.
The hell does that mean?
It means he's contaminated. He's the vector.
He is the vector.
God.
How do you undo it?
So, deal with me. Oh. So, do you really think that's going to stop what's already happening here?
How do you undo the contamination? Is there a way to remove this thing on my neck?
So, well, that's like the only thing to really do is starve it out. That means driving yourself completely insane. And honestly, it was way more fun to finally get rid of everything that was weighing me down. No, honestly, you probably should be doing that too.
Okay, you're
yeah.
okay.
And the
you're
only
nuts.
and the only reason I'd say you probably wouldn't.
I'm just going to make a stand check for helplessness. Please.
Yes. Everybody, go ahead and make that. Because he is not afraid.
26.
65. I fail.
Okay. So,
How much do I lose?
all right. So you failed.
Yeah.
I had a 36 out of 47.
Okay.
Success.
Success. All right. So, scary asshole. Everybody else just lose 2. So, and
So
oh, sorry.
Oh, how much do I? Oh, so how much I lose? Okay.
So, sorry, when it goes off. So, 4.
Okay.
So, here's the thing. So, you can actually kill me if you want right now. But yeah, it's like you already know that these things connect us all together. especially when we're close in proximity. And I'm already certain that you started to see her, right?
Yeah. What is it? What is that thing?
Some scary bitch, I don't know.
So you're not... I get that you no longer have any regard for your own life or any guilt or regret, but you're still a pragmatist. Otherwise you wouldn't have gone through all this trouble.
He's lost. He's contaminated. He wanted more suckers to do his work.
Now, I want to figure out how to fully weaponize this, too. So
You've already lost.
That's like, you can already take me to the big people, talk about this, and then hopefully this won't spread as far as we want to. Otherwise, I'll do my little trick with the air conditioning vents like I did before when you all came in and let you wander in. Like I was going to fucking spike your coffee.
All right.
So...
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like, personally, I don't know mine, but... And again, we're all connected here, so you can go ahead and shoot me if you want to. I have no idea what the hell that's going to do to the rest of your minds if we're in this close proximity. I already know what it did to her.
I know what, yeah, well, this is the job. Making sure assholes like you don't fucking see the light of day. I'm just gonna pull the trigger.
Okay, so...
I'm a Marine.
You're right, so...
Yeah. Super fine, motherfucker.
All right, he's not resisting, so I'm not going to make you roll for that. Yeah, this is a heavy, heavy, heavy one, so go ahead and make a sand check.
Make it.
Fail.
All right, so as this goes through, it's like it ends up hitting him. You don't feel anything else for a moment. But within a couple seconds, you are all flooded with memories. Multitude and multitude of years. You see his entire career as a Delta Green agent.
Oh, crap.
Killing, taking things, seeing unknown horrors, watching partners die. It just completely overwhelms you at this point. So, you two, let's see, that is just... a harsher one on that. So this is where the other part comes in. So, well, let me get the sand check first. So 5 for you.
For making it?
For making it.
All right. That's temporary. I mean, that's...
Well, that's that.
Five.
You're not on that. You're not off the hook yet, so... 5. Damn it. Damn it, Ross.
Well, I mean, it's 5 flat for all of us. So.
Now, so you realize in this case that... it's like you're doing this, but you can feel basically the other as you're trying to prevent this. It is just almost for going temporary. You realize that your bond still, or at least it's like the negative portions. That is what's keeping you afloat on each of these two. Not allowing, because you now feel each of you that feeling that your guilt. This is all guilt, but it can be taken away, and you see the thing on the side of your visions almost reaching towards you, trying to almost caress your heads.
The woman?
In a way, yes. So, it's like, that means from each of the bonds right now, it will take at least 2, it's like to count each one of those sanity losses from your bonds. So, you will choose to sacrifice those in order to retain the guilt. So, it damages the bonds.
2 points on each one?
Yes.
Okay.
So, if you're going to take that out. So,
yeah.
I hit a breakpoint.
Okay, well, this is before you get to do it. So this is to negate this. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I do this, then I don't take
you
the sand
negate
loss?
it. Yeah, but you are damaging your bonds irrevocably because you were carrying around horrendous guilt.
All right. Yeah. No,
Done.
that's fucked up. But yeah, all my bonds go down. But they were pretty high to begin with. So. I'm likable. At least I was.
Yes.
Yeah. So
me, not so much.
Yep. All right. So, but yeah, you do kind of blank out from that. And as you're waking up from that, yeah, you obviously see Kellen's brain splattered onto the side. You do actually, I would say you ended up hitting him in the skull where, yeah, you actually see one more horrifying thing, but you don't have to do the sand check for it, as a giant parasitic lump is just pulsating and bleeding out from where that's like you shot him in the head. So he is just out of it. And that's ironically when you also get the the message from it's the ace from ACL saying immediate location requested. It's like vector containment and cleanup team immediately needed.
Is that what I send to them or what they're? Yeah, no. Tell me.
It's a question mark saying
yes, and here we are.
All right, so
please come now.
All right.
The growth that's pulsing, is it moving?
So it's it's not moving on its own.
Kind of a move.
It's pulsing, but it's not moving on its own. So, but I will say that to end this in one in particular, you're all sitting there, Ashley, saying, "It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be. This is how it's done. If you deny it. He took it on himself to keep it from there. So, and just kind of finally passes out. So, several hours go by, but you eventually are all taken by other agents. So.
Okay.
And are put into a different hospital ward, which is spending weeks on end.
Not a ventilated place.
No.
Do not put us in a place with any kind of ventilation. It's airborne.
They do look on that too. They are actually able to go ahead and since your growths were not as major, so they do manage to remove them. They actually saw that the doctors that were going through when they did it. Managed to see, yes, it was literally integrating into your brainstem. So it was a very tricky operation, but they managed, yours were small enough. So Ashley was not so lucky. So, but they have now learned that at least with her, this right now still basically gives her some sort of link to any other people right now and actually has made her something of a psychic unwittingly. So, but she found that you can actually control what she has with heavy antidepressants. So, and being able to kind of manage the emotion.
Well, isn't she contagious too then?
Which means that she's staying on her own. They've not killed her, but they are studying her.
She's bubble girl now.
She is quarantined and they are studying her.
Okay.
So, but they've gone through the town, as you see on the after action reports, which just to let you know, anybody else? Luckily enough, nobody else was actually infected. Everybody else was just on long hours. And we learned everything else, was breathing this dust through that came in. So,
yeah.
So basically, that does end this particular scenario. So you kind of killed him rather quickly too. I was about to pull something, but you.
No,
I'm glad that you went ahead and did that too. So
I was kind of like, I should really shoot this guy.
Yeah, I kind of edited that one on there too because you found a little bit more of this, and I kind of planned on a larger group to be able to scatter along the whole area. So, but it's fine. So, but that just kind of ended this particular scenario. So, questions, comments, suggestions. So,
is this based on anything, or is this your own creation?
This is my own creation. This is a limited one. So the whole idea I had from this is that the priest who started the original, this was part of this parish, found some sort of, actually found an eldritch artifact that was out in the woods. So part of this, there was a parasitic entity that would literally feed off of negative emotions, mainly guilt, and that it's connected to some unknown deity that fed upon that too, and eventually would reach a la like into Azathoth's court or anything else if given too much, because it learned, holy God, I have an entire planet of just guilt-ridden people to feed on, so I can survive forever. The priest thought it was a miracle at this point because he suddenly lifted everybody else's spirits, but this was like, as that one guy, it's like, oh, you're literally making it's like people are beating children and being crappy to their spouses or cheating on it's like cheating on
and
deals
just not feeling bad about it.
Yeah, they just became complete sociopaths. And he learned that he kept seeing the Harbinger, who I was
the woman with the bloody eyes.
Yeah, so which I was calling the patron saint of regrets. So as she came from there, and he realized that he was getting closer to making this a reality. So he gathered everybody else. The sacrifice that you saw in this crypt was he built this off on his own for a couple of years to make sure that nobody could see that. Gathered them all up and then removed each of their That's like each of their implants of the fungus, and put them to himself, and then just died there to make sure that it was. That's like he kept that rooted.
That it couldn't feed off anybody but
exactly
him.
About him. He was the sole vector, and once it was gone, that was done. So until
yeah.
Kellen found it, because his story is that he was an old agent. He's a cowboy who was off on the side, just not trusting the new regime, essentially in Delta Green. So when he found this, he was infected, but realized that anybody else, he could read their thoughts afterwards. And of course, it ate off of his guilt. He became a sociopath, and then thought this would be a great way to get information, infect somebody else, and literally gain all their thoughts. So, and then obviously drew you into this as well, because part of it is that the real Delta Green did catch wind, so he interceded to hope to throw you off the scent of him. So,
that's the thing about the good mythos things, is that it does have good, useful. You can do useful things with it. It's just not worth the consequences. That's why shoot people who have regret tumors in them.
Yeah. So and that was part of why I was using the bonds there.
Yeah. That was a good idea.
I like the emotional component. I like the use of bonds as a buy-off.
It's a really original idea. Nasty for this thing.
Yeah. So and also to bring up everybody else who's asking, Ross actually hit on the original core of this idea. Is that over in the UK about 4 or 5 months back. They did find they found an open burial site where they had skeletons that had their skulls removed and placed in front of them. And this is actually, the funny thing is that actually is most known, and it's not a nefarious thing. It's just it's actually a normal burial practice for the time they found it. So, but obviously, crypt opened with heads removed in front of skeletons, like, that's a story starter right there.
No, that was really cool. I like it.
And I do like the fact that so 3 things that are actual fairly good tie-ins there. The oldest living entity on the planet to date is an old-growth mushroom that has roots underneath one of the American forests that are like 1.5 acres.
Yeah.
And so the fact that mushrooms are those...
It's in Utah, right?
I think it's like in Minnesota, upper Northwest. Somewhere in the upper Midwest.
It is somewhere in America. Yeah. But
I think it's in the upper Midwest.
I'm not sure exactly where either. But the fact that mushrooms are the shared memory, I love that. Mm-hmm. And I also love the fact that with the Catholic Church, just a cursory search on saints who were beheaded is going to give you like a shitload.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was a woman with bloody eyes that was looking around, I went to, all right, decapitated woman saints. And there's a list of just the top 10 that comes up.
And I'll admit, that was just a random image that I kind of came up with, too. Because it's
very appropriate for...
Yeah, because ultimately, this is just a harbinger for something bigger that you said, like, oh, we have enough guilt energy, time for the world to end, so...
No, I think this is a solid framework. I mean, there's some tweaks that we can talk about.
I know there's some slow stuff.
But it's definitely a solid thing. So,
okay, good. Well, I'm glad you all like that too.
Yeah.
So.
No, this is the coolest. I think this is the coolest one you've done, at least in Delta Green so far.
Oh, thank you. So.
Yeah, I think about it. Yeah.
All right, well, awesome. Well, I'm glad you all enjoyed it. So, thank you again for joining us.
All right,
bye.